From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week on NintenDomain, Switch 2 is less than a month away. Plus, will we get to order our GameCube controllers tomorrow? I don't think so.
I've been trapped in this mansion for 6 months, and I still like it.
Big Mario Brothers are watching.
I mean, you guys haven't turned on your Switches for a long time, so you probably didn't see that. I did last night.
See what?
What John was mentioning about the big Mario Brothers watching you. There's actually a warning if you turn on your Switch right now. There's a warning. There's a new agreement saying that they will be able to see what you're doing on your camera whenever the Switch.
When you use game chat, when you use the camera.
Yeah,
that's interesting. So it comes through as a warning on the Switch 1 right now, even though the Switch 1 is not going to use the game camera.
Yeah, I turned my Switch 1 on last night. While I was to play games while I was editing the expansion pack, Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast, and I noticed these like exclamation marks by all of my different accounts, and then I clicked on it and it said press to agree, and I didn't look at what it was, but yeah, if you would have read it, I guess that's what it is. It's telling you that they'll be able, and if you turn, like I said, if you turn your Switch on, you'll see it. You'll see it right now. I saw it last night around like midnight or so. So, yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it for everything. I mean, they're loading everything up. It's less than a month away, but yeah. Welcome to NintenDomain Podcast, episode 470. Your place to your Nintendo fans, continuing to talk about the Switch 2 and whatever's going to come with that. And we are your hosts. I'm Trey Jedi Power Battles Johnson.
I'm Jeremy. Found that Lego Mikowski.
I'm John. GameCube controller, please, knitter.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting too. Well, I said that in the opening, but yeah. So May 8th is tomorrow. We'll see if we actually get invites or not. I don't think any of us are going to get one, but that's we'll see, and we'll talk about it next week because I don't think you don't think we'll get it at like 11 o'clock or anything like that, right? It'll probably won't be till
probably the old Nintendo 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, John gets up then, and that's when I go to sleep. So we'll both be up at that time.
I'm up sometimes around then.
I'm actually normally not up till 6, but I was last night because I was editing our new expansion pack. If you want to hear us talk about GameCube games, we did one where we talked about our favorite games that we want to come to the Nintendo Switch Online. And that one is up in its edited form. And there'll be a free version of it that's like the first couple, it's like an hour or so that you can listen to. It'll be up there. But I wanted to mention right off the top of the show here, I did get a really interesting comment on YouTube. I don't normally read YouTube comments, but this one is worth it. This happened like Saturday or something. I woke up to it on my emails, but it's from my, back in the day of 2020 and Animal Crossing, I recorded all of the KK Slider songs and put them all on YouTube. And actually, those are some of my most looked at videos on there, are the KK Slider ones. And I still get like funny comments out of nowhere of them. And this most recent one was from the KK birthday video that's up there. And this is what we got. We got it from Jeremy O'Brien, 2439.
Uh-oh.
And it says, "Our world takes 365 days to make a full revolution around the sun, with every soul on this planet being born on one of them. Every hour I can spend in this small little village filled with what I love most in this world are enough to comfort me in these hard times we've all been brought into. But these 2 minutes and 17 seconds will forever be the most heart-melting moments I can spend with these soft, adorable, and huggable batches of innocence and love. Amtrak 900, Steamtown, Cadale, May 3rd, 2025. What? Thank you, Jeremy O'Brien, 2439. That's that was a comment that I got on our YouTube. So fun.
That was a huggable and heart-melting comment of innocence and love.
Yeah, I guess some people were really, and I looked at some of the other comments, and I guess a lot of people got a lot of feelings for KK birthday. So, I'll be experiencing that in like 12 days. So
There were times, I'll admit, especially when the game came out, that I felt like there's nowhere I'd rather be than in that moment in that fake world.
the Animal Crossing birthday was pretty cool. I remember seeing that for the first time. I probably saw it before you guys did because of just the time of our birthdays. Yeah.
No, it's true. You definitely did, and I think I missed my first one.
Oh yeah, you might have. But yeah, if you wanna give us some more cool comments, go to youtube.com/NintenDomain podcast, and you can leave comments on there.
If nothing else, you can cast your existential dread out into the void.
Yeah,
maybe we'll
see. Sure, yeah, and if we like it enough, we'll read it on the show. But let's start off our show as we normally do and talk about games we got and games that we've been playing. I did what I said I was going to do. I played the Jedi Power Battles trial.
Wow.
And it's still awful. I was actually, that was my joke earlier. Jedi Power Battles instead of Jedi Power Battles. But no, I actually spent. I mean, this can dovetail to my other thing. I spent all day on Thursday, torturing myself playing Masters of Teras for games my mom found for Mike's show. Actually, it wasn't that bad. I would rather play Teras than Jedi Power Battles. That's for sure. But no, I bought the game. I bought Jedi Power Battles. I bought it for $15 on eBay, just to have it. Why not? It's a weird fucking game. It's a whatever. It's Star Wars trying to be Tekken or whatnot. And we were going to do an episode about it, and I was willing to get it to play for the episode because I barely played it in college. I just remember renting it at a Lincoln Christian College when we were there, and I think I played it for a weekend maybe. And I was like, well, there's some dumb characters in there. There's Hor, which a lot of people have jokes about him. Obviously, there's a sand person there named Hor, and there's a Gamorrean guard named Thok in there also, and there's a stormtrooper that's just called Stormtrooper. There's all these just like silly extra characters that are super forgettable that are in there. But I played it, I played it while I was editing, and it's a good editing game because most fighting games are pretty good editing games. And I did my old, there was a trick that Tony Harrison and I would do on Tekken 3 to like unlock characters really easy, just like make it like one round in 30 seconds. So like it gives you like a better chance of winning, if you get a few hits in, and when the time runs out, you'll win. And I beat the game on hard many times because I got most of the extra characters. I beat it to get Darth Vader, which you have to beat the game on hard with Luke to get Darth Vader. And you have to hold some buttons and do team mode on hard to get Mara Jade. I got her too. And you beat the game on Han Solo at hard to get Stormtrooper, which Stormtrooper is pretty much exactly the same as Han Solo, except in a Stormtrooper suit, because they both have blasters and they shoot each other. It's a silly game, but it was fun to play it. And one thing I guess, this is the first time I've actually tried. I've got to fuck around with playing PlayStation 1 games on PlayStation 3, and it fucking works great. I had just heard of it as a rumor that it worked, and I was like, there's no way you can play a PS1 game on a PS3. That makes no sense. Like, there's no way that would be a thing.
Way back when. I remember the later models saved money by removing the PS1 elements, and people
my
PS3
is actually a later model, and it works, and it does work still. Because mine was the slim one, and it was lower in price when I got mine.
Didn't they get rid of like PS2 compatibility, but it still did PS1?
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe it did originally have PS2. I haven't tried to play any PS2 games on it. Maybe I should have, because then Xenosaga would have ran better. But PlayStation 1 games work great, and I don't think there's any other system that does this. Like, it's wild, because like you put a PS1 game in there, and it treats it like it's a virtual console game. Like, you have the same options that you would if you bought it on like the PlayStation Network and all that, except it's a disc. So like you can pause it, you can do like, you can do I don't think you can do save states, but it has the same menu that it does for the like for the Virtual Console games. And if you know, in the PlayStation 3, you had to make a virtual game card for your PS1 games, and that's what I was mostly worried about, was whether or not it would save to that or not. But it's there, and then you can just look at it, and it shows you it has a little animated picture of Yoda with boxing gloves. That was like the icon for the Masters of Teras thing. And I was just surprised by how well it worked, and I plugged my leverless in. It worked just as well as it would on the PS3 through PS1. And yeah, you can like change you can do like you can mess around with some of the displays on it. You can change it to like 16:9 and 4:3 and all that fun stuff. You can do all the things, like I said, you can do most of the things you can do on the Virtual Console, and it's just from putting a PlayStation 1 disc in there, and it kind of blew my mind just how well it works, and it works really well. And for a game, Teras Kasi, whatever, plenty of people say that it's a terrible game, and it's not a great game, but it's it was fun enough for a few hours for me.
Question: if you swapped out all the Star Wars and swapped in generic characters, would it still be a good game? Worthwhile game?
I don't know. I mean, I get enjoyment from fighting games regardless of whether of who's in there or not. My main problem is it's really slow. It's incredibly slow, especially when you get knocked down. I felt like it took forever to just stand up in the game, and I was hitting all the buttons. I'm hitting all the different ways, and I was not fucking standing up. And I was what the fuck is this? And yet it does move much slower than most games, and the moves don't seem to always work. And there's weird stuff where you get turned around and you can easily get hit, or they'll easily like walk away from you. But you can also easily trick the computer to walk off the stage. Like if you just kind of get kind of shimmy towards the edge, and they'll just kind of fall off on their own. And there's that. I had plenty of funny stuff in there. Actually, I figured out that if I waited like the certain amount, like if I knock somebody down, and if I wait like a certain amount of seconds and I hit them again, I can get them like right when they're standing up, and I can just keep hitting them over and over again, and they'll never be able to attack me. Like I was able to do that with Chewbacca, who already is kind of overpowered anyway. But there's a move you can do where you kind of like, where you like punch under, and you can hit him like almost every time if you wait a couple seconds after you knock him down, and then you can hit him again and again and again. But I mean, yeah, regardless of who's in there or whatever, I still kind of had fun with it just because it's, I don't know, I like fighting games, and it's fun to just fuck around with it. And I did some research on it. It's I guess the people who developed it, they had never really done like a 3D PlayStation game before. So, or let alone a fighting game. So it was very much like they were in a territory they'd never dealt with before. But I was so surprised by how well playing a PlayStation 1 game works on PS3, and I was so excited that I actually ordered a copy of Tekken 3. So,
wow!
I love that game. I played the shit out of the game in college, and I'd like to go back and play it again. And you know what? It's not fucking available on anything for PlayStation. What the fuck is wrong with you? I think you can get PS2 streamed to your PS4. Who wants that? Like, come on. You can't even buy a fucking native version of it? Like, fuck off. And there's no PlayStation 1 versions available for PS3. Like, they should get on that. You should get on that, Namco. Come on. Tekken 3 was huge. I remember we had like a college tournament, a Tekken 3 tournament that was really fun because everybody was into it because it's pretty easy to just get in there and do your moves. And there's other problems with Teras Kasi, like like some characters have. Like you have to press a button to pull your weapon out, but other characters you just have your weapon all the time. It doesn't make any sense. Like it's trying to be Soul Calibur, or whatever. But it was fun for what it was. It was fun for an afternoon, I guess. And it was mostly fun to just see how well PlayStation 1 games work on PS3s. But after I was done with that, I was like, oh, I should play a good Star Wars game. Let's try Jedi Power Battles because it's free. There's a trial of it for free that you could play. You can't play it anymore, but they were given that and Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which Bounty Hunter is a much better game. But Jedi Power Battles, I actually have 2 copies of it on Dreamcast. I don't know why I have 2. I guess people are just giving it to me because I hated it so much. It's like, here, have this shitty game. I have 2 copies of Star Wars Demolition too, the fucking the whatever it's called. What was the game?
Demolition Derby knockoff?
No. What's the fucking game? There was a million of them. And there's a fucking TV show. Twisted Metal. It's Star Wars Twisted Metal is what it is. Is what Star Wars Demolition is. And I have 2 copies of that. And I actually somehow accidentally got myself involved for another podcast about that game. So I'll be playing that one too. But thankfully, I already have 2 copies of it, so it doesn't matter. But no, I turned on Jedi Power Battles. Jedi Power Battles always looked like something that seemed intriguing to me. It's like, hey, yeah, like a Star Wars beat 'em up with Jedis. Let's go fuck up a bunch of droids. Cool. Sounds like a good idea, right? The problem that I always had with it is the controls are incredibly clunky, and there's like platforming stuff that doesn't really work very well. There's not enough checkpoints in it. It's where it's like you'll fuck up and then you have to go really far back, and it's not worth it like to go through the whole thing again. And I just, I was right. Everything I remembered about it being bad, it's still bad. So there you go. Thank you, Nintendo Switch Online trial. I didn't have to throw $15 to the remastered version of Jedi Power Battles or whatever. I guess the best thing about it is that you can choose whoever you want. Like, all the levels are unlocked and all of the characters are unlocked. So you don't have to like torture yourself to try to unlock like fucking, whatever. Like, if you want to unlock like Darth Maul, or you can play as fucking Padme or whoever, you don't have to torture yourself to unlock them. They're already there. So if you want to try to beat Darth Maul with a blaster, you can. So and you can go to whatever level you want. I played through like the first couple levels, and it's just, I don't know. Maybe if I was like 7 when it came out and I played it co-op, then maybe I'd think it was the greatest game ever. But I think it's trash still. So took a bullet there for all the I'm sure all the 2 listeners that care about Jedi Power Battles. I just thought it was really funny that they re-released that game. It's like, oh yeah, so they're re-releasing bad Star Wars games now. Okay, cool. Like why? Like, why this game? Like, this game sucks. But yeah, actually, I got my Dreamcast version of it playing back there, so I still have it. I already have it. If I want to play it, I can play it on Dreamcast. But no, it was a letdown. But what was not a letdown was playing the Metal Gear Solid collection, which I finally started getting into that. And I never played the PlayStation 1 game. I think on our expansion pack, I said that I did, but I don't think I ever really did. I don't think I ever actually played the PS1 one. I mean, I played the GameCube one multiple times, so I have an idea of like the structure of the levels and all that. And in Metal Gear Solid 4, there's actually a part where you have to play through a segment of the original PlayStation 1 game, which I thought was really fucking cool, like for a PS3 game. And it does it like exactly with the same graphics and everything in the game. They do a flashback, but they flash back it to like that first game, and I was like, that's really cool. But I think that's probably the most I played of it. So I played like an hour and a half of it, just kind of fucking around, just trying to get used to it. And it's really interesting because, it's all top down, I mean, well, you can do like first person mode and you can kind of look around, but you have to, it's all from top down and you're just kind of moving in that way. I remember, Hideo Kojima said that he made the entire game of the first one with Legos. Like, he created the entire like world that you walk through with his Legos because it was so small, but it's so intricate, and there's all these different like doors that you open with different cards that you get from various people. I got to when you meet Meryl. I found the DARPA chief. Like, I did that. I went up on the I got into the top rafters and looked down and all that stuff, and got around to that sort of thing, and did like the different frequencies to call in for saving or whatever. But I don't know, it's got some interesting, I still think it's a really unique game. I looked up how long to beat. It's only like 10 hours long, so I was like, I can drill through these games. Like, I've been playing a lot more of 3 than 1, but I was like, I can get through 1, because I could beat Twin Snakes like in a day, like back when I played it all the time, just because I kind of had it memorized. But it's still, I do remember a lot of parts to it. I remember like the beginning part where you wait for the elevator to come down, and then you get in the elevator. I remember hiding under the tanks, like when you're on your way to the DARPA chief and all that stuff. Like, it kind of comes back to me as I'm going through it. And yeah, it works fine. It works fine on the Switch. I think it looks great for a PS1 game in the 2025 and all that. But I played that for a little bit, but then I switched over to Metal Gear Solid 3, which has always been my favorite in the series out of all of them. And I still like it a lot. I know I've heard some people say that the controls are a little clunky. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if you don't remember how they worked, it may be a little clunky, but it works fine for me. I think it's fun as hell, and I think it looks great. Like I love walking around, like, you know, and I'm terrible at stealth games. I've said that before. I'm not really a big fan of stuff with stealth, and you don't really have to be that good in this game. Like, you can kind of like, you know, you can fuck up and then you just go and hide in the grass for like 2 minutes, and then everybody will forget you're there, and then you can go back to your, you know, get back to your. I don't know if it works like that on Hitman, probably not, but that was always kind of the way of the Metal Gear games. Is you like, you
It
know,
works like how?
you fuck up and then you go and like hide somewhere for like 2 minutes, and everybody forgets you're there, and then it's like you never got found before.
Depends on how severely you got found, I guess. People get their interest piqued in Hitman, and then you can kind of run off in the bushes. But otherwise, if you are on like high alert or whatever, it's gonna be more like you gotta hide for a couple of minutes and avoid all the people. Yep.
Yeah, it does. And I was just saying, I don't think there's anything that's like permanent to it. Like if you get found, you can easily hide, and then it's like you never were found. You know, I mean, maybe in your stats it'll show that you got found, but it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't really matter in the game. Like there's certain things like when, you know, you got to find Sokolov in the beginning of the game, and it says, you know, don't find them while they're still caution or whatever, and you just wait. You know, you just wait until they forget where you are, and then you go find them. You know, I was playing it a little bit while I was editing, and I was just on the top of I was on the roof of where he was being kept. And I was just, you know, I was like editing, and I forgot. And all of a sudden somebody saw me on the roof, and they were shooting at me, and I just didn't know what was happening. And I was like, oh shit. And I just walked over to a corner where nobody could see me, and I just waited there for like 2 minutes, and then they forgot about it, you know. And then I just dropped down and go through the door and all that. But it's fun. It's fun shooting the snakes, and I forgot how hilarious it is listening to Snake like eat the snakes like in the game. Like he like loves them like right off the bat. Like he like eats a snake, and he's like, oh my god, give me another. Like it's hilarious. I forgot how funny that game was. And yeah, you get to kill different things and keep them. And it's instead of like eating food to like refill your health, you refill your stamina bar. And if your stamina bar is high enough, you'll just automatically heal. And I remember there's stuff later in the game where you have to like treat your wounds. Like if you get like major wounds, you got to like pull the bullets out and like give yourself stitches and all this fun stuff. And did you play this game at all, Jeremy? I don't remember.
No, I haven't played it. I own it on the Xbox 360 because I have this collection on there, but I've never played it.
Oh, that's a shame. Like, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 was a big one for me. That was an all-timer for me. Like I was always at one point I was going to have like this big giant tattoo of it on my arm back when I thought I could afford that sort of thing. But that was a dream that I had was having like a half sleeve of Metal Gear Solid stuff. From 3. But yeah, 3 was the one that I loved that game so much. Like I still think it's the best game out of the series, at least from what I've played. And it's really cool. It's really cool to play it again, to finally have it. I feel like it's so much like there's a game that comes out where I'm like, oh, that's too expensive, and I wait forever to buy it, and then I buy it and I love it. So I mean, it's like I would have been fine paying $40 to have this digital. Like I was just lying to myself the whole time. You know, it's obviously I'm gonna have a great time with it. I love these games. So I was like, well, if I can get through Metal Gear Solid 3 and if I can get through Metal Gear Solid 1, then maybe I'll try Metal Gear Solid 2 again, which I've only played the demo, I think, and maybe a little bit with Raiden on there. But, you know, Jeremy and I, we watched the end of the game at Brian's house in Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like 20 minutes of cutscenes, and then you press the whatever, the X button or 0 button for a while, and then it goes back to 20 minutes of cutscenes, whatever.
It's the only Metal Gear Solid I've finished.
Was 2?
Yeah.
Wow. Why?
I was just exceedingly bored when I lived in Lincoln with.
But you didn't play any of the good ones,
Rob.
like 1 and 3?
Well, we only had 2. That's all that we had.
Oh,
and
sure.
I was just broke and bored, and I was like, I'll play this game. I'll get through it. I'll say I beat a Metal Gear Solid game, and so I did.
Nice. I played through Twin Snakes and 3 and 4. I beat 4 on PlayStation 3, which I think people have mixed feelings about that game. I thought it was great. I thought it had a really long ending. Like it kind of like, you know, it kind of like, it's like, all right, Snake is going to die. Snake is going to die. And then he just doesn't die. And then he never dies. And I'm like, what? It's just,
Snake will never die.
Well, he's supposed to be like old Snake, and they keep like hinting that you're going to die in the game. And then it just, I don't know. I felt like some stuff drug on more than others, but I did have a really good time with it. And it does look great and has some really fucking cool stealth stuff, where you're basically like crawling through like a war and like everybody's fighting each other, but you're like going in between soldiers and whatnot. Like there's some really fucking cool shit, like that opening part of Metal Gear Solid 2 where like they're in the room and all the people are switching sides.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I remember that was really memorable too. So I thought I'd give it a try again. Even though I always thought the characters were so weird in there. Like there was like Fat Man, and there's like a vampire in there too. There's just all I don't know because the bad guys of Metal Gear games, they're always kind of like superheroes, but they always kind of had this coolness to it. Like Metal Gear Solid 3, you see like the origin of Revolver Ocelot. Just when he was called Ocelot, and Snake even tells him like. He's like, that gun that you're using, it sucks. You gotta use it. You gotta use a revolver. No, I mean, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1, Revolver Ocelot is in there, and he's a really cool character. And then you get to see his origin in Metal Gear Solid 3, because Metal Gear Solid 3 is a prequel to Metal Gear Solid 1 and to Metal Gear on MSX and the NES one. Like it's the beginning of it. Like you get to learn where a big boss comes from and all that fun shit. And it takes place in the 60s. And, it does the same thing where you call people on the frequencies to talk to them, and you have to call, like, what I always thought was really cool about the Metal Gear games is, like, everything that happens in the game, like, kind of makes sense within the game. Like, instead of just, like, saving in a menu, you, like, call somebody and talk to them, and they save for you. So it's, like, supposed to make, it should make sense like it's a real thing, So you call them and you like give them they give them a record of what your adventure has been so far, and they're recording it down, and that's why there's a save. It's not just because that you save. It actually works it into the story, and they all work.
That's why
like this.
That even though you're like on a solitary mission, there's still people who grieve you when you die.
Yeah, because you're on your comms and all that stuff. And even like in the third one, it goes back to the 60s, so you don't see their faces. You just can look at pictures of them that you can alternate from, but it's only just their voice through your head and all that. And there's like a shotgun mic you can point around and listen to stuff too, which is really fun. But there's this one lady that you call to save. She'll save for you, and every time she saves your game, she'll talk to you about a movie that's come out. And the game's supposed to take place in like 1964, but she talks about all these old like 50s horror movies that I love, or like 30s horror movies. So she talked about Creature from the Black Lagoon and like Earth vs. Spider and Forbidden Planet and like all these other like movies that I absolutely adore. So it's really cool to hear it like in the game. And she's like, and Snake's like, I don't really care about movies. They don't mean anything. And she's like, well, movies are important for you to escape from reality. And she's like, eventually I believe that someday there will be interactive movies where you get to control the characters and do your own thing. And he's like, I don't believe that. But no, it's just a great fucking game. Like I love it. It's you have it, John. You should give it a try. I mean, I know I know you're going for a record of least time spent with Switch in a month, but you should try turning it on sometime. Play some games. You got like 300 some games that aren't Hitman or Tears of the Kingdom that you could play.
Life happens.
Yeah, maybe.
You can't always play video games. I get it.
You should celebrate your Switch. It's like when you get a new brother and you're like, oh, old brother, I don't like you anymore. I'm never talking to you again until the new one comes.
I kind of wish I could have ordered my new Switch through my old Switch. That way, it would be like the joke about like when you order a computer through your other computer that you're replacing. It's like you're making it dig its own grave.
Oh,
I mean, if we would have ever got an Internet Explorer on Switch 1, we could have done that, right?
I guess so.
We could have found a way to dig its. I mean, it is kind of digging its own grave anyway.
If you wanted to make that pre-order process even worse, you could have.
I'm trying to dig this grave, but the stick keeps drifting to the left.
They should just make you they should make
wide.
you buy it like the 3DS Opera or whatever, or the DS Opera program, right, where you got to get it on there.
I still see ads for Opera. It still exists.
It does still exist, yeah.
Yeah, people pay a lot of money for it.
Something for like VPN type shit. Now I think
I was talking about theater opera, but yeah, opera does still exist in Chicago, or at least it did. I don't know. I haven't been in a long time. But yeah, it would be fun. I mean, the Switch 1 is kind of digging its own grave because it keeps adding this updates to it for Switch 2 within the Switch 1 system. So it is it's actually like we said last week with the new update, you can send all your stuff out to your Switch 2 before you even have one. You can send it into the cloud, so to help you get rid of your Switch 1 even easier. So it is digging its own grave.
Yeah. So can you just sign here?
Yeah.
Switch 1. You've given your likeness to someone else. You don't exist anymore.
Make sure you get your affairs in order. Switch one. So you're
No,
ready.
I'm looking forward to being a 2-Switch household finally.
I've been thinking about my strategy. Obviously, I was like, well, because I was like, oh well, you can put it in the cloud, so I can put my stuff in the cloud before I drive to Green Bay,
Oh,
and then
right.
I could
You have to drive to Green Bay.
and then I can try to uncloud it because I'm gonna. My plan was to donate my OLED to Jess, but I was like, well, maybe I could. I was like, it'd be all these different loops to do where I'd have to get like their stuff onto the OLED, but get my stuff into the cloud, and then maybe I could trade in that one into GameStop for the other. I thought about maybe doing that to save some money on it, but that just seems like too much of a pain. I'd rather just throw my stuff into the cloud, then get it onto the Switch 2, and then we'll transfer Jess's stuff from one Switch to another. I don't like having to do it all in one day and then trade it in, and then I'll just have three. Just have 3 Switches, and we'll figure out what to do with the other one. I'm sure maybe I can.
Not enough Pikmin in the world for that.
Maybe I can trade it in for an eShop card or something like that, or trade it in for one Street Fighter 6 amiibo or something like that. They wouldn't give me that much for it. But anyway, that's good for me.
Well, I don't have much to talk about other than I've just been playing Blueprints this week, so just much like you were chiding John a little bit. I haven't really played much Switch lately. There's just not been a lot on there that I've been interested in, and yes, I know Xenoblade Chronicles X is on there, and I kind of
you abandoned Xeno X. You don't.
I plan on going back. Honestly, I'm looking forward to whatever performance upgrades there might be on the Switch 2. But I mean, it runs fine.
It's still kind of my. It's still my comfort game. I still play it a lot while I'm editing because I don't need to listen to it, and I already beat the game. Well, I beat the game, the regular, the Wii U version, and I'm just still trying to complete everything. And I've got pretty high. I'm at 70% on most of the continents now. So I was trying to 100% it eventually. So I'm still pecking away on it. I'm still using that Zenith weapon, and it's pretty awesome because I'm not quite level 60 yet. Like level 60 is kind of the last one where you unlock stuff on it, I guess. And I've been trying to get the final, most powerful scale as well. But yeah, I'm like level 59. And I was like, it's just great going up to like a level 70 something and just blasting it in the face with the Zenith cannon and it just dying in one hit. It doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's fucking cool. When you're going against whatever you call it, the big monsters of the area, and you just
Titans.
Yeah,
or tyrants.
Yeah, when you go up against the tyrants, you just blast them in the face with that thing. It's like 400,000, and it's like done, and they don't even know you're there. It's pretty awesome. It's a great feeling. But Blueprints, you beat it by now, right?
No. So I think I'm just not.
How many days you got now?
Oh God, I'm at 130 something within it. Yeah. So I'm, like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm nearly a half of a year into it, and there's a whole I figured out there's a whole system of time, and I've just been super duper not wanting to get online about anything. So that's probably part of why I'm
you got to be close though, right?
Also listening. I listened to that 8-4 play episode again and realized that there's a room that spawns that becomes a permanent part of your building, and mine's almost all the way at the top. So that's part of why it's been so difficult for me. But that's okay because I've been committed to it, and I've done a lot of permanent upgrades since last week. I start out with 50 something coins now, so I can basically buy anything in the shops right away, and it makes the runs a lot more satisfying. But I keep thinking that I might be at the end of it. I'll solve a puzzle. I'll get to a place that I've been trying to get to for days or whatever, real world days. And I'll go and it'll be okay, here's another clue. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't know what that means. And so that keeps happening. So I'm at a point where I thought for sure I got to this spot. I don't want to write anything, but I got to a spot that was really hard to get to, had to have just the right rooms roll. And then you have to have a series of items you bring down with you. And you just have to hope that you have them all. And all the conditions are correct. And I had them. And I went down and I did it. It was kind of funny. The first time I went down there, I ran out of steps as I walked into the new spot. So I had to do it all over again. Not really funny, but funny in the sense that it was very frustrating. But I've done that a few times.
Looking back on it, it's funny.
Right. So now I've got some I don't know if it's almost like the first Dark Souls. Like I've got these shortcuts that I can always like get ahead to these areas of the game. So that's kind of nice. But there's still so many puzzles I haven't solved. And I don't know how close I am to getting credits, but I do know there's one final puzzle I need to solve that I've mostly figured out. So I think hopefully by next week I will have at least solved that puzzle, and I can't think of what else there is. That has to be the end of it.
But
is it very linear where it's like in the sense that you can only solve one puzzle at a time, or can you like be stuck on one puzzle and then go, oh, I want to go work on this one instead?
You can definitely do that.
Oh, good.
I mean, isn't it what is it, like 46 rooms? That's how many you need to find, or 47?
Well, you're finding the 46th room, but it keeps introducing new rooms. I think there's more than...
But how high have you gotten? Have you gotten to like 43 or 44 or whatever? Like, are you pretty close?
I've mapped out 43 on the map where like there was just 3 vacant spots, but I don't think that's necessarily what you're trying to do. You're trying to get to this one secret room. Once you get there, I don't even know if that's the 46th room, but you get to this room. There you get a key. You take that somewhere else, and then you have to have, like I said, you have to have a series of items to get ahead there. And I finally did that, and it just created a big shortcut. And I was like, okay, well, that didn't work. It was really hard to do, but it didn't solve the puzzle. So, yeah, I don't know. I got to be close. But it's a great game. I love it. I've been recommending it to people and anyone who has a PS5 or an Xbox or a PC. It's like, you got to play this game. It's something special. It's a very relaxing game, too. Like, I've fallen asleep playing it a couple times now.
And it won't. And if you fall asleep playing it, like you won't die, right? Because don't you have to move to like run out of footsteps or whatever? So it won't.
Yeah.
So if you fell asleep, like nothing's gonna change, right?
No, there's really not. All you can really do is just ruin your current run, but you can't ever really totally fuck yourself over. I guess you could potentially accidentally or on purpose, like. There's a certain item that changes the likelihood that certain rooms will spawn. And if you accidentally set that to where one of the really important rooms was hard to get to spawn, then I guess that's one way you could permanently fuck yourself over until you got it to spawn again, and then also had that item to make it less rare again. But that's about the only thing I can think of in this game where you could really back yourself into a corner permanently, or at least impede your progress from day to day. Otherwise, each new day is something new and a new process. And there's got to be a lot of stuff I haven't figured out yet, but I just want to see credits. I'm at that point in the game where I want to see credits, and then I'll start chipping away at the more subtle puzzles. But so far, like all the ones I have solved have been very satisfying, and everything about it. It's just a cool game. And I mean, I talked about it so much the past couple of weeks that I don't think I need to say much else other than I still stand by that. This is a great game. I wish it was on Switch. I don't know why it's not. Maybe there's something under the hood with the way the rooms generate that is really graphics intensive or something, or like RAM intensive or whatever. But as far as the actual appearance of the game and everything about it, I don't know. I don't know why this game could run on Switch.
Maybe it's just one of those things. It's going to show up later. You know, like some.
I think it will.
Like some games, like maybe
given like how many great reviews it's gotten, and like.
I'm sure they got a deal. I'm sure they got a deal from Xbox or Play because it was on PS Plus and like Game Pass and all that.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a deal to have it like there first or whatever. I don't know. Like or maybe they wanted to have it on Switch and there just aren't any development kits out yet or not enough or I don't know. You know, I could see it showing up on other stuff. I'm sure.
But I still have been discovering new rooms. Like I think yesterday I discovered a dog kennel. You have a kennel. You can go in and you can pet the dogs, and it's really cute.
At least
they're all like, what's the dog in Fox and the Hound? It's that kind of dog.
Like a basset hound?
Yeah, like a basset hounds. They're all like hunting dogs.
And they're like, we're going to be friends forever, right? You're like, sure. I'm not going to have to hunt you down and kill you later.
Yeah, that's a sad movie.
It was a movie about life. Your friends are always going to fuck you over. That's what I learned from
There is a friend of mine whose like nephew couldn't like say the word right, and it was one of the things he would talk about. Like, I went to visit my nephew, and his favorite movie is Fox and the Hound, but he calls that fucking round. For whatever reason, he couldn't say Fox and the Hound, so he called it fuck around. And it's like, that movie is such a fuck around and find out.
Disney animated classic. Fuck around.
You made that up. He doesn't actually say that, does he?
I don't know.
Let's
but
watch the fucking round.
there.
Let's watch the fucking the round.
But anyway, it's cute. It's not a cute. I mean, it's a cute movie, but it's one of the most devastating of the Disney flicks that you can watch. So
yeah, Tim Burton worked on that. Apparently,
be careful.
He was an animator.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that explains the scene where they all have really long legs and they're walking through a gothic jungle.
Well, I mean, Tim Burton worked for Disney before
I didn't know that.
He got his own shit going.
But it kind of makes sense that he would get the Nightmare Before Christmas connection then, because that was produced by Disney.
Except he didn't. I mean, he didn't direct that movie. He just like.
Well, you would know more than me, film student.
But
other than Blueprints, I played a little bit of Stardew Valley on the PS5 because I think it was on sale for like $3 or $4. I was like, why not? Why not get it on?
Start again for the first time.
And they've added a lot of stuff since I played it last. So
I haven't played.
Probably where I'll check out some new stuff.
Yeah, there was a big update that was this year or late. Yeah. I think it was this year or late last year. I don't know. We haven't played it. Yeah, we haven't played it in a long time. But yeah, apparently they added a bunch of shit like extra dialogue and whatever, different events and whatnot.
But John, you posted it in the Slack, and it's something I had actually seen as well. And whatever. I've had mixed feelings about him as a content creator, but Bobby Lee somehow got Concerned Ape on his podcast to interview him, and it's pretty cool. Like, I don't know if Concerned Ape's done any of these like kind of interviews before. If he has, I didn't know, but like just being with one of these like totally unhinged people, not unhinged in like a conspiracy theory kind of way, just in like he's just a silly guy, Bobby Lee.
Yep. Free spirit
and he's like completely obsessed with Stardew Valley. He talks about it all the time on his podcast. So like for him, that's like he literally says at the beginning, he's like, "You're like my I can't remember what he says. You're like my David Bowie or something like that. Some
right.
kind of like he's like basically you're like for me. I'm like extremely nervous to talk to you, and you can tell the whole episode he's just like fumbling over his words and having a hard time. And
yeah, he was like legit fanning out.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool in that regard. And I think that you will hear some stuff from here and there. Like, there's more than one time where he's like, I've never talked about this before in an interview, but here's this. And it's just like little subtle details about Stardew Valley. So if you really love Stardew Valley, you might learn something from that podcast. If nothing else, he does say in the episode that he hopes Haunted Chocolatier comes out in the next 2 years. That doesn't mean shit, but.
Yeah, remember that game? Wasn't it announced like 3 years ago? I feel
yeah,
like it's been. It's
been a
while.
One guy making it, so
yeah, but he came out.
Well,
and said,
sure.
Yeah, I paused making this game because I wanted to keep working on Stardew.
Yeah, but didn't he also say
you also learned that he started out as a musician, like he was a music student, and that led to him making a game and subsequently writing all the music for it. But he started out in music, I guess.
Didn't he also say he'd probably never stop working on Stardew Valley?
He probably did, and
so I mean, I feel like I saw both of those.
It's really a phenomenon. Like I've said it before. I think you could sell a console that was just a Stardew Valley console. It was like a tablet you bought that only had Stardew Valley, and I bet people would buy it.
I mean, it definitely really helped the Switch, like in its first year. That's for sure. I mean, it came out real early, and I feel like that really helped the Switch.
Probably helped each other.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you could play so many great indie games on the Switch right off the bat, but I feel like Stardew Valley definitely was a big part of people.
It's still in my top like 5 most played games on the Switch, so that's saying something for coming out the first year.
Yeah, me too. Even, and I didn't even play it until like a few years in. I didn't play it until we would play multiplayer. So
it's my top 20. I think I have 25 hours on it.
Wow, you played more than I thought you did.
Oh yeah, I got 100 some on it. From Jess and I playing co-op.
That's right. You've played more of that. So I've got probably not that many hours, but that's because I also switched to like playing it on the tablet, and I played on my iPad and played on different thingies, and now I have it for PS5. So here we go again.
Why not? You can always.
Why not?
You can. Yeah. Why not? Let's rebuild the community center again. Why not?
It is kind of funny going back to playing on a console after the last time I beat it on tablet. It's kind of funny going back because there really are a lot of quality of life improvements in the touchscreen version that, you could still use a controller for like the fishing minigame and stuff, and you could use a controller whatever you wanted. But some of the like touchscreen stuff is nice because it will auto switch your tools for you. And it doesn't do that on the PS5 version, I've noticed. Maybe I have to go into a menu or whatever to change that setting, but I found that a little annoying because I kind of got accustomed to that last playthrough. But there's been a lot added, so I'll probably, I imagine myself getting into this one eventually. That's been pretty much it this week, though, for video games. I went to Disc Replay hoping to find something to buy there.
Oh.
And the prices just keep going up on everything. Like they had a Dreamcast. It was like $120.
Wow.
So the prices just keep going up on everything, and I'm really sad.
Yeah. I'll get like random text messages from them. But it's not really anything. Yeah, like I think I got one where it's like get a whole bunch of used DVDs for like nothing. It's like I don't need DVDs. But I mean, I haven't been there in a while. But yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah, things keep rising. For sure. Even like current systems are rising as well, which I'm sure we'll mention in the news. But I was gonna say on the Stardew thing, I'm surprised they don't. Did they ever do like crossplay or anything like that? Like, since you have like 6 different copies of Stardew Valley, can you like play with yourself on all your different copies somehow? Can you play multiplayer with your PS5 and your Switch One?
I guess I've never tried.
And your tablet. Like, I don't know if they do. They do crossplay, don't they? I don't know. I guess we only just played it on Switch.
I really don't know because I only played. Yeah, that's the only time I ever played 2-player was with you for the channel. Yeah,
still our most watched video. And I did get a random. I did get a comment on that one that was just like That's all they said. It's like, whatever, dude. We played it on the day. That's why we got. So
anyway, okay. But anyway, awesome video or whatever.
Yeah, it's like you guys suck. For 40 minutes. You couldn't figure out how to do it. It's like nobody knew. It had just come out, dude. Leave us alone. Yeah, but it's like, but aside from that, great video. It's like, screw you.
My kid made me watch this whole video.
Yeah.
Anyway, great video.
It's like, why did you guys talk why did you talk for so long? It's like, we're just hanging out, man. We didn't force you to watch it. Have you ever heard of
live streaming before? Yeah, it's a new thing.
We're just being
buddies.
This
is the
90s. We were just trying to figure it out on our own, you know.
That's it for me.
But John, yeah, you you did get you got a pre-order, right?
I got a pre-order. I pre-ordered a Switch 2 Pro controller.
Wow.
Yeah, not the system. Just the Pro controller. Yep. And I did it at Best Buy, and I did it just because, like, well, my tax refund came in. Like, I wanted to feel like I owned at least had like at least a piece of the Switch 2 secured.
Sure.
And so, all right, let me pre-order this thing. And I also, my plan is to go to Costco. I was very confident that Costco would not be offering anything beyond just like the console, because Costco again is a different kind of retailer,
Yeah.
So I pre-ordered it for for whatever the full price was, $85, whatever.
$84.99.
And then like 2 days later, it came up that Costco was going to have it for $69.99.
Nice.
So, but that listing went dead though. It was like they posted it early or something by mistake.
That's probably it.
Yeah. Actually, I saw it. Warrior64 posted it. That's how I saw it originally.
Yeah,
so, I mean, which means it was like, I mean, it was from comicbook.com, and people feel however about that website, but it came from Warrior64 originally, so I thought it was legit. But I did the same thing as you. I looked for the post, and yeah, went to
it's gone,
saying that it wasn't there. Like if you go to so it's like, yeah, maybe they did it too early, or I don't know, whatever. But
yeah, so I bet they'll probably have it. I'll hang on to my pre-order at Best Buy for now. I can always cancel it and get it for $15 cheaper.
I guess you could do that.
You deserve it for being a member there.
Thank you. Yes,
you're still hanging on to the Switch 2. I did the Switch 2 Pro controller. I was just listening to 8.4's like most recent podcast, and John Ricciardi did say that. I mean, he wasn't impressed by the pad, by the control pad.
Did he actually? I know he touched the D-pad or whatever, but did he actually like use it in a game?
No. He didn't use it. They were at the Tokyo Switch 2 event, and he said that he held that. He said they mostly. It sounded like they mostly just played Mario Kart. Like they weren't able to get to a lot of them, but he said that he held the controller and touched played around with the control pad, and he said that it felt the same as it did on the Switch 1 Pro controller, and he was concerned about that. That's basically what he said, because of that one being so awful. So I mean, that's all that I heard, but I don't know. I would bet $85 on it. I guess
I want to own it regardless of the mushiness of the D-pad, just because I want to have the proper Nintendo controller for every console, even if I never use it, even if I put it in a shelf. I just want to have it.
You actually will. I mean, you will have it though. It comes with the system. You take the two Joy-Cons, you snap them together. That is the official controller for the Switch 2. I mean, but it's going to be different. It's going to feel much different than the original one did. It's going to be wider. It's going to have a C chat thing on it or whatever. I mean, that's going to be enough. That's going to be enough for me to feel like it's a new system. Like I don't need a $900 controller that I'm going to send to Jeremy anyway.
I have a strong hunch that I would never use that. You know, I'll try it once and then I'll never use it.
Yeah. For $90 though, I mean, you could almost afford another game for that. I'm kidding. You could get a game in a third of one maybe.
You can put a deposit down on Grand Theft Auto 6.
I could. That's a whole other news item.
Yeah. I still haven't seen either of those trailers, and I never will.
Yeah, you will.
No, I won't.
So it's going to play during your favorite sport event.
They're going to play
it'll find you.
And I still won't see it.
Sure. It's going to be the biggest media blitz for any property ever. Movies,
definitely
games,
next year.
Yes.
Don't care.
Earlier in the year, I bet.
But we're on the eve of this Nintendo email that's going to go out, and honestly, like
none of us is going to get.
I'm kind of wondering if I get the email, I could see myself pulling the trigger on that instead of going to Costco.
I don't think it's going to happen, though. I really don't think it's going to happen.
You should.
To any of us.
I think you should.
Yes. If you get the email, sure, do it. But you might not get it till July, like the actual system. Like they already said they're not sending them out on June 5th. They said that specifically. Nintendo did.
Yeah, they said that you might not get it. I think there would be.
I think they mean most people will not get that.
Some people will get it soon.
Maybe one person. Yeah. maybe second.
I think they'll do better than that. But I think that obviously a lot of people are gonna want to pre-order this thing through Nintendo now that the other avenues are closed, and so they're just hedging their bets to say, look, a lot of people are doing this. You might get it a week or two later, whatever.
Month.
So
it's going to be a month later. I put money on it. I don't think people are getting it. They're already having problems in Japan about it.
I think there'll be thousands of people who get it on the day.
I don't think
and
so.
They'll be fine with it. But
they flat out said that it's not.
Yeah,
that it's not coming out on the 5th.
That some people will not.
Yeah. Maybe they'll send it. Maybe
it's called tempering expectations.
Tempering expectations, exactly.
They'll send it to the people at IGN, and that's it.
Better to underpromise and overdeliver.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just saying, don't expect it to. If you pre-order, don't expect it to be there on June 5th. Same sort of reason. Don't.
I'm still leaning toward getting in line at Costco. That's my safest bet, I think, to get it on the day.
I just can easily since they already sold them all out and they're already having a hard time, especially with all the tariffs and all that bullshit. Like with getting all their stuff together, I guarantee that they're going to say to those people, to whoever gets them, that they're not going to get it on release. They're going to wait and they're going to get them out to the people who actually pre-ordered them, and then maybe whatever if they have extras, then they'll send them to whoever gets it online through Nintendo.com. That's what
I feel like
whoever
set aside a certain amount for that specifically.
Yeah, like if you pre-ordered at a retailer, that's your promised allotment.
I'm just saying it's going to be hard for them to reach the amount that they want, and there's a good chance that they're going to.
I'm holding
not send it to the people who got it, whoever the one person that gets it from the website.
In the event that I get the opportunity to purchase it, John, would you want me to, and then you'll pay me back, or is that one of those things where it's like, I should get a hold of you and check then?
Get a hold of me for us to check out. Like,
just in case for whatever random reason, I'm the only one who gets an email. Then
send something to the Slack or whatever. That'd be cool.
John responds pretty.
I think
he's probably the quickest responder to the Slack.
That's true.
So put it on there.
Probably true. Yeah. I think I'm still leaning more toward getting it at Costco. Just like it seems like I think again. Costco says they're going to have
more guaranteed.
They're not doing pre-orders.
Yeah.
If I just get in line first, I'm getting one. So, and I did actually go to Costco today.
Oh, did you talk to anybody there about it?
Yeah, well, that was I was there just to get some lunch, but I thought, well, it's a little bit closer to the release. Maybe somebody will know. And I happened to be in the electronics section, and there was a guy, about my age or so, who I figured might know that kind of thing. And he was, in the electronics section. So I asked him about that, and it turns out he really didn't know. So, yep, maybe he was an
Really?
Xbox guy. Yeah, he said,
I'm
yeah,
surprised.
Costco. He said Costco will probably get some. So he didn't seem to know that Costco was going to get some. He said,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Costco will probably get some. He wasn't talking about this Costco. He was talking about Costco in general.
Sure. Well, maybe we'll get some. Yeah.
So I'll go again like a week or two before and ask somebody at the customer service.
You have to wonder, the electronics section there has to have some memo or something about.
Somebody's got to be.
People are
going to
be asking
on
questions
it, right?
about this.
Yeah,
Right.
I figured they would get. I don't know. I figured they would have gotten a few questions like last week when it was first put out there on the internet. I thought somebody would come by and be like, hey, is this happening or whatever?
Maybe, but I'm not like near a major city, or you know what I mean. I'm in the suburbs, so maybe it's less likely that someone would come into a Costco and ask about that. So,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe.
Regardless, I still feel confident that I'm going to get one.
I mean, you'll get one. I don't think there's any.
Well, yeah,
doubt
I'll
about
get one eventually. I figured. I felt more like if I was betting, I would bet on you getting one at Costco over Nintendo sending you one, because I think that.
Oh, I'm in the same way.
I think that is 100%, 99.9999%. Even if you got an email saying that you were eligible, I still believe that you would have a better chance at getting it on Costco in the month of June than hoping that Nintendo sends you one.
I guess I agree. Maybe there's going to be more information whenever they do send out those emails. Maybe not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see, right? I mean, if they're gonna,
We'll see.
if they're gonna
Very
send
soon.
it, if they're gonna send it at 11, then maybe we'll get them. But I don't think we will.
And I was pretty quick to register for that email thing too. I think I was within the first hour or so that notice went up that it was ready.
I did it right after whatever. I did it right after the direct. I mean, I recorded myself.
Yeah, I did. You're right. Yeah,
Reacting
they
to
announced
the
it at
direct.
I forgot that. I did it right after the direct. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you guys saw the direct later though, hours later, because you were at work. Like you didn't watch it live.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
If you go back and listen to our podcast, that's what you said, because I edited it and I remember. But yeah, no, you didn't watch it until hours after the direct. So I don't know, but I mean, whatever. I like I said, don't put any money on this like possibility of them sending you an invite to getting their system.
Yeah,
I feel like
like
it's going to be less and less with them trying to make the demands of people who actually paid for it already.
I'm like 90% sure I'm going to get it at Costco. So I just had to think about that today, just because what if I get an email? What would I get? What do I do?
Yeah. I mean,
We'll
you could always go for two and sell it to a friend at cost who was unable to get it.
Costco.
Yes.
True.
Yes. Go to Costco and wait for somebody in line who didn't get chosen and be like, hey, you know what? I have my own Switch. You want to come to my house? I'll show it to you. And they'll be like, no, get away from me. You're creepy.
Have a special van. Be like,
Why are
hey,
you
I have
wearing
a
a
new
trench
Switch.
coat?
I have a new Switch if you want to get in here.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, you like hip hop? Come to my house. Let me show you some shit. But yeah, no.
Drive with my van that says Switch 2 on the side.
Yeah, I wrote it in Sharpie earlier today. It's totally legit.
Ignore the part that says Blade. I crossed that part out.
Anyway, why don't we take a break and we'll come back and
Sure.
talk about the news.
Sounds good to me. Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Ah, spaghetti. Ah, ravioli.
Then expand!
With NintenDomain Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that NintenDomain ever made.
Here we go!
And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting NintenDomain.
Just go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and, hey, Mario, let go. Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show.
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast.
Game over.
Hey, we're back.
Hey, we're back from the break.
Hey, we're back.
Let's talk about the news.
Yeah, we're back from the break.
What's going on with the news?
Let's talk about the news. News. Don't snooze or you miss the news.
The big release, I know all of you are going to buy it. High on Life is out now for Switch 1.
Hate it. Tried to play it on PS5. Disliked it severely.
It's I watched their Switch Up did a review of it. I watched their review of it on Switch, and it looks about how you would expect. It's got like the smooth textures and doesn't look great. It's kind of weird for this coming out like so late. Like four weeks away from the Switch 2, and
it's also like
hopefully they'll get an upgrade or whatever. Isn't Justin Roiland
got that
involved
after
with
he
it
got
too?
canceled?
Yeah, it's got that Rick and Morty like stink to it. That's really hard to shake off. Like Rick and Morty was a good show. Don't get me wrong, but just like all the scandal that surrounded it, and on top of the fan base, and it's just a toxic place. And it's like, oh, I don't really want to play this because this is just inundating me. I feel like I'm watching Adult Swim 5 years ago while I'm trying to play this, and it's just not doing it for me.
Yeah, I mean it's on sale too. It's $35, but I'm still not going to get it. I mean, I might, if it went like half that, and it was upgraded for Switch 2, I might try it out just because of its first-person shooterness. But I don't. And the review, they were saying that there is some like really fun, really good jokes in there later, aside from the annoying gun and knife and all that stuff. But you do kind of.
I was interested at the time.
You do
but
kind
I
of
do
get
feel
past
like
it after the first couple hours.
it's a little too late. I don't know. I'm on to Switch 2 now. I don't really want to play like a watered down version of a PS5 game from 2 years ago.
I mean, you'll get a chance to play it on.
Well, obviously not for
eventually,
Switch
I'm
1,
sure
but
it'll
I
be
mean,
there.
but if they did like an upgraded version of it for Switch 2, I was saying if I was going to get it, I would get that version. It's kind of weird, for it to come out so late, and that was like really the only big release of this week. I guess aside from the Star Wars collection or whatever, which
Yeah, they did the Star Wars Grand Collection. So if you like Star Wars, there's a bunch of them all smashed together for you.
it's all of them. It's every Switch Star Wars game release is on there. Every single one of them. So if you want
It's
to,
on sale right
if
now.
for some reason you missed them,
$70.
I don't know why. I mean, if you like Star Wars at all, I guess the only thing that's missing is the Star Wars pinball game, but that's it's a different company.
If they somehow made this the way that you finally could get Shadows of the Empire, I would consider it.
you have to buy all of them, and then you'll unlock Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have most of these already. I think the only ones I don't have is There's only a couple I don't have. I don't have the Force Unleashed or Knights of the Old Republic 2.
I've got KOTOR and Racer.
Yeah, I have all the other ones. Jedi Knight Outcast and Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy are really, really good games. Also, and
Probably going to be a lot of people who have a good chunk of these games, and I don't know. I can't see this huge collection selling a lot for the price that it's at right now. It's on sale for $70. The normal price is $140. But if you're a Star Wars fan, you probably own half these already, at least.
I feel like it was a collection made to go on sale. It was a collection
pretty much
make you think that it's so much more valuable than the price you're getting it.
I mean, it's like the Doom. They do the same thing with the Doom games, where they do like Doom collections that have like 1 and 2 and Eternal and like 64 and 2016.
Those are cheap, though.
And I know, but those go on sale all the time too. But everybody has most of them, so it's just kind of like what's the point? It doesn't. And they've done different versions of this. They've done like like all different other collections that had half of it, and now it has all. It's like, who cares? It's barely even news. But yeah, there they are. I mean, the trials are over now. Your Jedi trials, you failed them, and now if you didn't have time to play Jedi Power Battles, now you
all
can
the
pay.
younglings survived. Damn it!
I mean, but if you break it down for $70, like there's what like, there's like 12 games in here. Like that's less than $10 a game, which I think is a fine deal, since most of these release for around like $20. So, and they're all good except for Jedi Power Battles. So, whatever.
More like Jedi Power Battles.
Yep.
Nice one, Jeremy.
I don't know. That's the favorite pun you've made in a long time, Trey. I don't know why.
I tried real hard. I spent about 30 seconds on that pun. That's the most amount of time I put into a nickname on the entirety of the show in 470 episodes.
You heard it here first, folks.
But anyway, what else do we have on the news here?
We did get some real news. So, System Update 20.0.0 is out.
Well, yeah, we talked about it last week. That was actually the headline of last week's episode.
Was that okay?
Was 20.0.0. Yeah, remember we broke down the different
Red eShop,
the different like colors in the eShop and how everything was virtual cards.
It's all a blur to me. I'm just fast forwarding straight to next month for my Switch 2, so it's all a blur for me.
Well, but the 20.0.0 is basically pushing everything towards Switch 2 as well.
Yep.
But one thing that I guess I didn't mention last week is a lot of people are getting a lot of errors from it, and I did as well. When I got the update the first time, it would not let me play any game. It told me that I did not have access to any of the games that I had, like any of the virtual cards. And I was like, what the fuck? So I could not open a single thing on my Switch, and I just did a hard reset and it fixed it. But somebody thought it.
You had to like re-download and all that crap?
No, I just reset it. I just reset the system and it worked fine. But somebody thought it was important enough to write an article about, and probably made like $100 off of it. So good for them. But it's not really. It's whatever.
It's news.
Sure. People got errors on it, and they put it. There's actually they did another upgrade since then that supposedly, hopefully, fixed that. So there you go.
We live in a new world here. That's the hottest consumer grade product. So you're gonna read a lot of slop about this thing for a while.
It's been like that since 2019 or 2017 or wherever the fuck this came out. Actually, I think ever since video game journalism went to the internet, we see constant slop. That's just like I watched a thing and here's an article about it. But I
have an opinion and I can share it in 800 words or less.
Yeah, sometimes it's not even opinion. It's like, on this episode of this Netflix show, this happened at minute 10. Here's an article. But one thing I didn't know from last week, as far as the upgrade stuff, is now your games automatically they get removed from your list once you buy one. So that's cool. It was always annoying. In the right
direction.
It was always annoying to go through and try to find them, because I would buy them, to try to make it so I could add more stuff to the list. And sometimes they're really, really low on the list, and you forget they're even on there. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't. I've never. Yeah, it's just never been a problem for me. I mean, I think it's cool.
I know you don't. You don't have the list
once in a while.
You don't have the list issues like we do, but sometimes I get excited
all the
about
lists are up here.
It's like I want to buy. It's like I want to buy something on my list so I can add another thing to it, or whatever. There's different pictures on the eShops now and the eShop cards now. Now they sell $200 ones. I don't think they originally did that, but hey, games are more expensive now, so why not?
Oh, that's it.
Yep, $200.
Who's on the $200 card? Is that Bowser?
I don't know.
That sounds evil. A $200 eShop card.
Oh, I see what you mean. The actual
it's Waluigi.
you
the
can
one,
buy a
the one you hate.
$200 increment.
Yeah, I
So
saw.
it's Waluigi, of course. So I'll never get that.
I saw a picture of it. Well, I mean, there's a $500
I
here
would
one
never have a
with
reason to
Donkey
buy-
Kong on it.
This is a $500 one, really?
On this, well, I mean, this is in a different.
What is it?
This is in a different country.
They should have a 401k
it's all in a different.
card.
It's all in a different language. But this one shows.
You just give them your 401k information and they give you a card.
This one is shows 100, 200, 500, and this one also says 50, 30, 400. What? So I remember seeing that, and I was like, I don't remember it being up that high, but I think this is in Spanish, so maybe these are pesos or whatever. I don't know.
It's probably a different increment, yeah.
But I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, since, games are selling for $70, $80, you might as well sell $200 ones. Why not?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe people are hyped up enough now where they're like, maybe we can sell people the promise of the games they'll have eventually now that they're waiting on their Switch.
Sure. You got to switch everything up for the new Switch.
There was a Nintendo Music update. We got Mario Kart 3DS music.
Yeah, I was actually disappointed because two things. Number one, Mario Kart 7 on 3DS, that was not on Monday. They broke their stride. They had a new thing on every Monday until that week. It was on Wednesday. And this week, no new music. Nintendo Music, I'm fucking looking
Maybe
at you.
It'll be on Thursday.
What's your fucking problem? You're supposed to give me one new album a week. That's all we ask from you. And now we got you know what we got this week? We got a playlist. We got a Zelda playlist. A playlist.
Doesn't count.
It's not an
Doesn't
album.
count.
That's a playlist.
It's not new music.
No.
I agree.
You can't fool us.
Yeah, no, that was the newest
Oh,
thing
but
was a
we're
playlist.
Nintendo. We're busy trying to launch a whole other system. We don't care. We don't care.
We know you got
I think they're just going to keep
Music.
pushing it back a day and back a day.
we
until
know
eventually,
you got so many
They're gonna
albums
release 2
there.
albums
Just
in
press a
one day,
button
and
and
they're
it'll
gonna be like,
shoot
okay, now
through
we're
the
all caught
pneumatic tube or whatever, and it'll just go right in there.
I think there's a warehouse full of soundtracks they just haven't released yet.
There is. They've already released them in Japan. They got a bunch of them. Just hit a button. Like, seriously, these already exist. All these albums exist. Like, when I see them on Nintendo
Well, they have to
Music,
translate them.
it's like, hey, I downloaded that from the Kingdom Hearts Insider web database that I download everything from. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, no, the exact same songs. Yep, these are albums that existed in Japan, and now they're giving it to us through an app. You could have bought these 20 years ago if you lived in Japan. But whatever.
Fire hose us, please.
I mean, if they fire hose us, you'd forget about it next week. Also, as you're waiting for Switch 2, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, no, there's nothing new on there." Anyway, what else? What else is on here?
They did fire hose us with the profile icons this week. Got a whole bunch of them now in preparation for Switch 2.
I guess so. I guess we didn't mention the different Donkey Kong one, where they got rid of the rare one, and now it's the new the new Donkey Kong one. The Donkey Kong Bonanza, whatever it's called. That one's on there. And they kind of upgraded all of them, too. They look a little bit different. Just like their eyes are a little bit farther apart or closer together or whatever. I looked at a whole thing where it showed the differences in them. But I have my profile is the guy from the future. Did you find him on Xenoblade X? The guy who's traveled back in time from 5,000 years in the future, and there's 6 different missions with him. I love that guy, and I love that he has an icon on there, and I don't know if I'll ever change it, just because I love how super deep cut that is for Xenoblade Chronicles X. So I couldn't see myself changing that anytime soon. Even though I did keep mine as the trans character from Paper Mario for a very long time as well, because I didn't want to change that either. So
Still handsome Ganondorf.
I mean, I think you guys still got your first ones from the beginning of Switch. From
No,
the beginning of
handsome
Switch
Ganondorf from Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, okay. Well, Jeremy's got the guy from Splatoon 2 or 3, or I feel like it's been the same for a while, right?
He was mustard for quite a while from Pokemon Sword and Shield, the expansion.
Oh, there was a profile for that?
I thought they had a mustard guy. Yeah, I was him for a while.
Oh, I know it was a big deal that they added a bunch of new Pokemon ones on this 250 whatever update.
But yeah, I have no idea what mine is.
Yours is the old dude from Splatoon. The old guy from Splatoon 2. That's why I thought it was always the same.
Oh yeah. It's been that for a bit.
Well, GameSpot published a list of all the Switch 2 games that you can pre-order right now. For anybody wondering, you got a nice handy list from GameSpot. There's a whole bunch of games ready to go if you want to pre-order them physical. Anybody gonna get any physical games or no?
Nope.
I'm still just poised to just. I'm only worried about I'm gonna get my Switch 2 in my hands.
Yep.
I'm gonna have my Mario Kart, and that's all I care about at first, other than playing my remastered Tears of the Kingdom. That's gonna be part of it, and then probably Xeno X, playing it with a higher frame rate or whatever. That's kind of how I plan to treat my Switch 2 until Donkey Kong comes out, and then I'm gonna. I'm doing digital for that. I don't think I'm gonna buy that.
I mean, I'm digital for pretty
Look
much.
at that physical.
I'm digital for pretty much everything.
I think I'm going to be
for
digital,
the most part. I mean,
except for maybe like if it's like a series that I really treasure, like if it's something like if they were to come out with some kind of Chrono Trigger thing or something, maybe I might buy that physical.
Well, actually,
But yeah, there's not a whole lot.
I don't know if that's on the news
immediately.
Did you put that on the news, John? But creator of Dragon Quest,
That was one of those things.
Yuji Horii, might have.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this? That he might have made it slip. That there may be.
I heard about this.
There may be a Chrono Trigger thing happening.
He let something slip and then he tried to take it back. Like if he hadn't tried to take it back, no one would care. But he tried to take it back. And that's
he was at a convention, right, somewhere,
Yeah.
and somebody asked him what he was currently working on, and he said like the remake of Chrono Trigger, and everybody was like, "What?" Because no one else knew.
I don't
about
think
it
it was quite that, but it was something that alluded to the fact that there was something to do with Chrono Trigger in development.
But didn't he say Chrono Trigger?
But if there's one person who could leak that, honestly,
I thought he did. I thought he said Chrono Trigger. I mean, how else would you?
No, he
say
did. He did say it, but I don't think he said like we're working on a remake of Chrono Trigger. I don't think it was that.
Oh, sure,
direct
yeah.
The way he said it. It was more like he implied they were working on something that had to do with Chrono Trigger in the midst of other things he was saying. So it was like, oh wait, I shouldn't have said that. Like, and that's where people are like getting caught up because it's like, oh, maybe we weren't supposed to know that yet.
He's the one guy who like wouldn't get in huge trouble, so he's all right. They're not going to like fire him. He'll be fine.
Of all the people, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, no. I mean, he's huge. But I mean, from my understanding is, I thought he was saying that would be the next time they would use the HD2D. Is what I thought.
I don't know how that would work.
Was for Chrono Trigger. I mean, well, at least that's what how
the style. I don't think the style lends itself to that.
Yeah, I mean that's how some of the sites have phrased it. I mean, I don't know if that's what he actually said, but that's what I saw people.
I don't think
saying.
there could be a. I don't know. It's just one of those games I say doesn't need to be remade. Just re-release it. Like maybe give it some quality of life things. That's cool, but like, I don't think you need to redesign anything about it. Don't make it 3D, please. Don't make it like.
You should make it all action and make it all action stuff and make it into 5 different installments of a remake.
Stop it. Stop it.
Make it a Chrono Trigger Rebirth remake, reparation, whatever you want in there.
Yeah, every like time period you go to is its own game. You've got Ayla's new crossing or what? I don't know. I want to see new. I just want lots of news.
There's going to be a different game, based on every time period you go to, and they're gonna. I just want to get this future one where you can sleep but you're out forever hungry. That's the one I want.
Oh right,
I want to buy that version.
The Inner John.
But speaking of remakes, did you see the news about the about Elden Ring adding some new classes to the the Tarnished edition of Switch 2? That's pretty cool.
Adding new classes.
Yep, they're adding new classes. Yep.
Yeah. So there are some new.
So that's just
more
your
new
starter
things.
class. And that's just got to be your starter class because like that just all that does is like build your. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. They'd have to if it was truly adding new classes. Then that means they're adding new weapons and new armor too. Is that what they're doing?
It says for starters, 2 new classes have been revealed.
It's for starters.
Dubbed Knights of Idols and Heavy Knight.
Okay, no, those are probably just whatever your loadout is.
It's not known what kind of stats these will boast, but we'd guess that the latter in particular will come with quite hefty defensive capabilities. In addition, your trusted Spirit Steed Torrent, which can be called upon to help traverse the lands between at speed, will be customizable with 3 new appearances.
Okay.
So you get horse armor. Hey.
Kind of.
Finally, 4 new sets of armor, weapons, and combat skills are also on the way.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's weapons and armor. So.
And other platforms will also get it via the Tarnished Pack DLC, which will launch at the same time as the Switch 2 version. So
in any case, you'll find yourself buying the game again.
Yes, well, you don't necessarily have to get the Switch 2 again, or have to get
the Switch 2,
but, you can get some stuff with it. And
it's their way of trying to bring it to the foray as being a cutting-edge game, though, because it's like, well, this is coming out simultaneously for all systems, this update, where it's just going to be in the launch edition or whatever, but, like, I don't know, that's cool. That's cool. It kind of puts this game that came out in 2022, puts it at the modern equivalent of everything else that has it.
I mean, Capcom's doing the same thing with Street Fighter 6, which I know we talked about this before, but they're releasing the final character of their year 2 DLC on the date of the Switch 2, and like the Ultimate Edition with all the extra characters that's coming out on Switch 2. That's coming out on other systems, but it's launching on the day when the Switch 2 launches. So like they're like lining all their stuff up with the launch of the Switch, so you can be like, oh hey, I could get this version for Switch 2, but it is on other stuff. But it's coming out on the day the Switch 2 launches. So there's they're trying to make it seem newer or whatever. Which I never got any of the new characters because I wanted to wait in hopes they'd show up on Switch, and now they are. So it's just cool that they're building their stuff around the launch of it and all that to try to get more people excited for it. Which doesn't seem to be a problem because they're already sold out. So,
So we know the pre-orders emails are coming out tomorrow, right? But then after that, on the 13th, that's when the GameCube controllers are going to be going wide to any NSO.
To all the NSOs officially.
Are we all going to be trying to get a GameCube controller? I'm going to.
Of course we are.
I don't know yet.
Of course we are. I mean,
so are we all going to be on there at midnight?
This is like the third time for this one too. But no, I mean, I'm going to do whatever I can to get it. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Was that next Tuesday?
Didn't they do? I mean, did they ever do? I don't think they did midnight release stuff for like pre-ordering the N64 controller or the Super Nintendo or NES one or anything like that. I feel like they just showed up after a direct or something like that. I don't remember staying up to try to get one. I guess.
Yeah, they didn't show up at midnight.
Or looking at midnight.
I mean, I'm certainly going to check it at midnight. I'm going to check at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
and then I'm going to check all throughout the day after that.
It is 11:03 Central, 12:03 Eastern, and I have no emails from Nintendo at all about a GameCube controller or a Switch 2. So, well, not that it would have come out at this time, but I'm just telling you, I got nothing here as far as the update goes. From what I said at the beginning of the show,
I wonder if they're going to send an email like a non-confirmation email, like sorry you didn't get one or whatever. It's just going to be like emails.
Sorry you didn't get one. Here's some Super Mario Brothers socks for free. I'm sorry. No,
here's a nice Luigi gift for you.
Here's a Super Mario letter opener that you can cut your wrists with for not getting a Switch 2.
Oh no!
Wow, that's
they're going dark. Well, speaking of dark,
yeah.
do you want to talk about Xbox?
Yes, yeah. I mean, not really, but sure. Microsoft raised the Xbox price by
quite a bit,
$80 minimum to $130 for the top model.
Yeah,
and this is for the same old Xbox that's been out for like 5 or 6 years,
which was released at a budget price, probably at a loss to them as a company, but like the newest version of Xbox, whatever the fuck it's called, Xbox One or whatever it is.
That was Xbox Series S and X.
Yeah. One was the last one. Yeah.
Which was already confused. I mean, they're all confusing.
They're like the DSs of this era, the 3DSs.
The worst names.
Series S and X. S and X.
That?
They already sound the same. Yeah. It's like you're already going to not know. You're going to say Series X and think it's S. And it's just so much. It's going to be real easy to fuck up whatever you're trying to get on that.
Yeah, so many fuck-ups on top of fuck-ups over there.
It sounds like, I don't know. It just sounds like they're giving up even more on their on selling consoles. They're like, well, now we'll just charge more for something that no one's buying.
Well,
We'll see if that
everything is an
helps.
Xbox, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
the future. So Switch 2
I
will
mean-
probably
So in
be
a
an
way, they're
Xbox,
kind
so
of
they don't need to
fucking
sell
their
any.
own. They're fucking themselves.
There.
And
I mean, this
don't
is
get
just
it.
this is weeks after Nintendo showed the way by
Yeah.
raising the prices on all the other stuff, the accessories.
They ripped their Band-Aid off, right?
Yeah.
They did, right? And now they don't look as bad anymore, right? that
don't.
$450
Yeah.
system does not look as bad versus
Nope.
what Xbox is doing, and PlayStation has already raised their prices in some countries, not here yet, but I mean they will.
That's
they will
coming.
eventually. So maybe Nintendo doesn't seem as bad anymore. It's like, well, I don't know.
No, I can't remember which podcast I was listening to, but yeah, it'll be more expensive for an Xbox than a PS5 Pro in some regards.
Well, wait,
Which
just wait.
is hilarious because they were always like, well, they were looking for that adoption, of course, but they were like, it was like 300. What was it, like $299 for the series, whatever, the one that didn't have the drive, and that's like compared to the PS5 base price of $499. That was a huge deal back in 2020, 5 years ago. Now 5 years later, what the fuck? That's so crazy. It's so crazy to think of like paying more for something. Like if the Switch was like, to buy a Switch 1 costs like $400 now. New. Obviously, if it was like rare and
Yeah.
it was a secondary market, but like the thought of like the exact same thing that came out 5 years ago costing more now is blows my mind.
Yeah, I've seen and heard a lot of people talk about like where it used to be a system comes out and then you wait for like the smaller version or whatever that comes out at a lesser price, and this is like the complete opposite of it, where it's like I'll wait till it goes down, and it's like, oh no, you got to wait until it goes up.
Or like or the smaller version comes out and then you wait for people that adopt that, and then you buy a used model of the original version or something. Like that's what I did with my PS4.
That too, yeah. Well,
I got it for super cheap, and it's like that made sense at the time. I mean, the system had been out for a few years at that point, but
I did the same.
Crazy to think like the PS5, turns 5 this year.
Yeah. I talked to somebody
as well as the Xbox, and it's like, wow, is it tariffs? Is it just tariffs? I mean, it's a big part of it, but
also
I don't know. It seems like
expenses,
it's the excuse to try to recoup some of that loss, maybe.
possibly so. Yeah. I don't know. Well,
It's
I
backwards.
I talked to somebody at
It's
work.
like if you go to a garage sale and a pair of Holy socks costs more than buying a new pair of socks at the store. So I don't know. It's just it's not a
It's a
very
strategy.
good metaphor, but
it's not a used one. It's still new.
that's true. I guess. Yeah.
yeah.
It's just been out for a long time, and now it's higher because everything sucks, and inflation, and the expenses, and
If they're really just trying to recoup a few dollars here, Microsoft, one of the most valuable companies in the world, it's a bad strategy because you're doing so on this years old product that has zero momentum behind it.
It's always lacked
Yeah.
momentum, even out of the gate.
Right out of the gate, it had no momentum.
It was confusing. It was the Wii U of its era because it's like,
Yeah.
what is this new Xbox? Is it the same one? Is it not? I don't understand.
Yeah, I talked to somebody at work last week, just on the subject of video games in general, and he mentioned that he'd bought an Xbox, whatever the Series S or whatever. This was like a year and a half ago that he bought this thing, and he says I paid $700 for it.
Oh, geez.
That's right. I was talking about the Switch. I said, "Are you going to get a Switch too?" And he's asking about the price. I said, "It's $450," and he said, "Well, it sounds expensive, but I paid $700 for an Xbox a year and a half ago. I don't even use that thing. There's no games on it and all that." And so he was.
I don't know why. He
did you tell him about Game Pass and how you can get a lot of free things from that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they get it pretty good for
his,
that. I heard that South of Midnight game's pretty good. That's Xbox only, right?
Yep. But it's like
Indiana Jones. Well, some people like that, even though it's on PS5 now, right? Isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Microsoft, good luck to you. Whatever your strategy is, nobody knows. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Trump just killed the Xbox.
I just think Xbox has been trying to kill itself. Like, I
Yeah,
think
right.
this is just an
I
excuse.
mean,
to do it.
we always used to make jokes about about the Xbox and how it was like who gives a shit, but they did really well with the 360 against like the PS3 being really high priced, which I'm one of the few people that has a PS3. Actually, I'm surprised that Jess and I both had PS3s, and they had one before.
I don't know. You go back to
before I
that
even met
original
them,
Xbox.
but
It was laughable at the time.
it had the stupid
Because we were
gigantic
GameCube-
controller, and
Right, because we were
was-
GameCube super fans, but it has its merits. I mean,
You could rest an
had
entire
a hard
piece
drive.
of pizza
Yeah, it was-
on your controller while playing the game. Yeah.
it was the first console to have.
It had a hard
onboard-
drive and the internet too. They did a lot with
Yeah,
Xbox Live Arcade and all that, and for indie games. And no, I know they did a lot of stuff out the front. I mean, and they made themselves, whatever important against the other two systems. But now,
At one point, it was.
but now it's like, what the hell
best
happened?
way to play PC games on your TV, like
Yeah,
it was the direct, like, or the console equivalent to a gaming PC.
The only
was
time I
all
went
fun.
to a LAN party, it was all Xboxes hooked up
Mhm.
to play Halo 2. That was kind of cool.
yeah.
I give them credit for pushing the multiplayer thing, the online thing, all that. I give them some credit for that.
I mean, they were the first ones that had where they charge you for the internet to play online, but it was worth it. Like they actually did a lot of things to make it better versus GameCube that barely had it because you had to buy a modem for it, and PS2 had it, but also was not really there and didn't work very well. So they
I just
did
think it's really
they
cool.
kind of
You
pave
could-
the way in that way.
Theoretically, you could buy a used Xbox and find somebody's music collection on it. That's really cool.
Yeah, you could do your own
that's not-
soundtracks, which I always wish that we would get that as well too. Well, we had it.
You're not going to find that on any other console.
We had it for Excite Truck and Excite Bots. That was like the only Nintendo game where you could create your own soundtrack with an SD card on Wii. And I did that, and it was fun.
It's like our own little Xbox postmortem.
Yeah,
It's dead.
I guess.
It's dead.
I mean, I never bought one and never really wanted one, but yeah, I was just hoping that, since they keep saying Xbox is everywhere, then I figured the Switch 2 would just become the Xbox, and any other games I wanted to see, I'd just play on Switch 2 anyway. I mean, they brought a bunch of Xbox games to Switch 1.
I would not be surprised if Game Pass came to the Switch 2, but I think it's going to be
There was a bunch of rumors for
not
Switch
worth
1
it
for
at
that.
first.
I remember that. Well, I mean,
it'll
what
be
was
one of
it?
those things where it's like a proof of concept, and maybe people will get it to do cross-platform, but I don't know. I'm skeptical that they'll just dissolve completely and become software. I mean, that'd be cool if they did, but I don't know if they will anytime soon.
Well, we had a shit ton of Xbox games on there. Like, was it Ori and the Blind Forest? Like, John,
Yeah.
John loves
And the
those
sequel.
games, and those are Xbox games. And what was the other one? The
Cuphead.
the animated
Cuphead
one,
was-
Cuphead. That
Cuphead
was
a big deal
That was a big
because
deal,
that
too.
was like people were doing shot-for-shot comparisons to that, and it had been ported so perfectly that it was indistinguishable.
Well, I said last week that I sent an email to IOI about Hitman.
yeah.
I was just curious. I really want to know. I want to know because I've put 650 hours into the cloud version. And so I'll read the email that I sent, and I'll read you the response too. So I said, hello, I'm wondering, will I be able to transfer my save data from the Switch version to the new Switch 2 version? I hope so. If not, please consider letting us do so. I have 650 hours on the Switch version and would love to start from there, not from hour zero. And in any case, thanks for a great game, and I'm excited to keep playing on the Switch too. And I got a response, how much later? It was just a couple days later. It says, hi, John. I'm Adrian from the Hitman support team. I know it's been a while since you submitted the ticket. I thank you for your patience while I got back to you. We strive to reply to all tickets as quickly as possible, but at this time, we're dealing with a large number of requests, which affects our response time. I appreciate your understanding regarding this delay. Thank you for reaching out and for showing your interest. We're always glad to share more information with our players when it becomes available. Please consider keeping an eye on our official social channels, where our team will provide all the latest news and updates. So, I mean, a nice
no
response,
answer.
a polite response, but really no response, really no answer.
You got a form letter.
I got a form letters. Yep.
So last week when I was listening to I was editing the podcast, I was listening to you talk about your concern about all that.
Mhm.
And I poked around the internet looking for somewhere out there anybody mentioning a cross save on Hitman, and I really couldn't find it anywhere. I saw people on Reddit being mad about it even before it being on Switch, just that you could not move your save from one version of Hitman to another, no matter what version it was. So, I mean, as of right now, it's looking kind of bleak, and normally they try to put that stuff front and center because like what's a Cyberpunk 2077, like that has cross save. Like you can, if you had it on PS5, you can play it on Switch 2, whatever. And most of the time people put that right out front, and they just haven't. So I think it's looking like it's not going to be a thing, unfortunately. But I tried to look around, but I saw nobody mentioning that you could transfer your save from any system to any other.
Well, I just would be interested
general.
in any of the cloud stuff because Trey, you play Control or whatever. I think that was your big one, and Resident Evil 7 as well. So.
Yeah, Resident Evil Village was the big one for me. That's when I played the shit out.
Or Village, yeah.
But that game's great. It's really good. I mean, I played enough of Control till I realized I didn't like it. But
you probably wouldn't care to have to start Village all over again anyway. It's not quite the same.
I already beat it twice though, and I beat the DLC, so I don't even need to play it again. I just want other people to play it because it's great.
But if you were able to play the cloud version on Switch 2, wouldn't you want your save to be there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
that's what I'm interested in, like the cloud.
I mean, I said that John and I should get free copies of it just because we bought the cloud version. Like in general, I did say that they should be giving out native versions of these games if you bought it on cloud.
$10 upgrade.
Yeah, or $10 upgrade or whatever.
Upgrade,
yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever. Like, let us just upgrade it because we did it. We fucking we paid full price for not a full game.
I paid so much more than full price for it.
Well, you did. Yeah, you spent.
I paid $300.
Yeah,
total.
You bought like 4 different games, but still, like, I paid like I don't know what I paid whatever the full price of Village was, and it was worth it. I had a great time with it. But if you come out with a full native one on Switch 2, just give it to I just wanted you to just give me a free one because I already paid for it, but I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I'm not even really like sour about that. I understand this is a ground up version, whatever. So if I've paid $60, that's cool. But for that, I would really like them to just transfer over my save.
I don't know if you're not playing it natively, you're accessing it from another source, then as long as you had access, I feel like you would still have your save.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
That's the other thing is like
that's what I was thinking too. But it's also on the
playing,
same system, but different. I don't know.
But I'm also playing on an IOI account, so you have to be signed into an account.
So maybe your account
that company.
So it should transfer, but I couldn't see proof of that anywhere else between PC and PS4 or 5 or Switch.
Because if nothing else,
whatever.
why couldn't it be playing your Switch 1 game? It's natively playing your Switch 1 game as a cloud game. Like, why would it need to be a new version? It'd be cool if they released like a software, like you could download it and all that crap. But I still just think like you are always just paying for access, which is getting more into like the digital space. I know, but like in all games in general, but you're paying to play something that could not run natively.
Right.
And you paid good money for that. And I really hope I don't know. I would be very disappointed if you got the shaft on this. And if nothing else, it's cool you can keep playing on your Switch 1, but I feel like if everything else can switch to the Switch, can transfer to the Switch 2, it'd be done with the cloud stuff couldn't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. Also, what kind of pisses me off is the physical version of Hitman is a game key card game. Also, because didn't you say there was a difference? Like if you bought the physical one, you got extra shit, but there's no game on there, so it's like stupid. I just saw that from the GameStop or the GameSpot list of all the games. It's like, oh, there it is. Yeah, Hitman game key card. I know some people are
I do own this game.
Are pissed about that. I own it too. I have on PS4. Well, Hitman 1 or whatever.
Yeah, you have the first one. Yep.
I have the World of Assassination thingy. The whole gamut.
But I hope I hope you can transfer your save. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll just.
I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to have to play 650 more hours of a game that I love. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but still, it's like,
no.
yeah.
But I
No
mean,
thanks.
what I was thinking is, I mean, you obviously you played it for like so long that you know it so well, so
You would probably
you
not
could
spend
probably
650
unlock all the
hours.
stuff that you need to unlock
Pretty
really
quick.
quickly because you know the game because you put like
Yep.
fucking 700 hours into it or whatever, like so you shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't have to spend that much time to get through it because you know it better. It's like it's like playing, like say you put like 200 hours into like Monster Hunter or something like that, and then you have to buy it again. Like you won't have to spend as much time to get to where you're at because you're better at it, like that sort of thing. Because you have so much experience with it. That's what I was thinking.
I think fiscally they'd be in better shape if they, because it's a game. It's a
It's a game that already exists.
It's a game as a service. They would be really kicking people in the balls if they didn't let them keep playing the game as a service with their current progress. So that would be a huge mistake on their point if they didn't let you do that.
Yeah, I mean, and it pretty much is a game as a service in like a different kind of way, though. Like it kind of leads into this next point that I was going to bring up is that there was a great video that somebody put out on YouTube, a guy called Captain Peach. The title of his video was Hitman is quietly dominating the industry. Anybody who's interested in, not just video games, but specifically like the mechanics of free-to-play games and what works, what doesn't, give this video a look, because this does kind of I think accurately spell out how Hitman's doing it better. Like basically, you pay one time for this game, or if you get the DLC and all that kind of stuff, you might pay a few times. But now with the World of Assassination, you do just pay one time for all the content, and then you get this like ongoing live service. Like things change up, from month to month, and then there's also like live challenges that you can create your own Hitman challenges and all that stuff. So you can always see something new in this game. But I think it was just an interesting way that this guy laid this out. The good and the bad of free to play games and how it compares to Hitman, which I think is doing it just a little bit better. Like I feel very satisfied with the money that I spent because they're really excellent at keeping up this game, even though it's 9 years old at this point. And here's a fact that I didn't know. In January, Hitman passed 75 million players.
Oh, wow.
So that's lifetime. They said active, it's about 1 million players a month, but 75 million over the lifetime. So I did not know that there was that many people who played this game. And now more on Switch 2.
And they're putting it up front and center and all that, which is cool because I really don't hear anybody else talk about this game other than you, John, out of all the podcasts that I listen to. So I'm glad that there are other people playing it.
I think Agent 47 is often referenced in other stuff. Like I think that's
I mean, well, yeah, like reference, but people don't. As far as video game podcasts I listen to, they don't really talk that much about it.
I guess
about the game in itself.
There are people on YouTubers I follow and stuff who that's like their main thing is playing this game.
Well, sure. I mean, you probably follow them because they're doing Hitman content.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Like that. It's in your whatever. It's what you see because
that's
what you follow.
Yep.
You should start the Hitcast, where it's all about Hitman.
I mean, that's been a lot of episodes of this.
So we all agree to get barcodes on the back of our heads, right? Let's go.
Well, sure. I mean,
I got a QR code.
As long as we don't cut our hair, no one will know. I did actually. I mean, what was it? I did know a person that had a barcode tattooed on them. It was like it was like the you could scan it and it was like I forget, it was some anime, like it was some anime movie that had the QR code of that, or not QR code, just the UPC code. So I mean that did exist before I'd ever heard of Hitman. This was years ago.
How about some Nintendo stock news? Nintendo stock is currently at an all-time high, and Nintendo is set to become Japan's 6th largest company. It has passed $100 billion in value.
I believe it.
Is a lot of that the war chest?
I think that's just like all told. The war chest, the IP, the stock, all that.
It's like if they're, say if they're, I guess they're behind cars mostly. That's what it looks like. Toyota. Well, I guess Sony's too, but Toyota, Hitachi.
But Sony's also like
Mitsubishi.
record labels and Kawasaki. I don't know. They got motorcycles.
Did you guys fuck around with the portal at all? The Nintendo account
I
portal?
looked at it.
I just did a little bit, I guess.
I did finally get that one app on my phone. I did that today just to test.
This today app.
Which
Yeah.
oh, the Nintendo Today app? You never got
Yeah,
it?
I finally got it. Yeah, I finally got it, and I was like,
Cool. Now
okay.
you can look at silhouettes that look exactly like who they are and be like,
Now
oh
there's
my
a
God,
calendar
I don't
on-
know
another
that's
calendar app on my
Waluigi.
yeah.
What did you pick for your theme for it? Zelda?
I just stuck with Zelda. Yeah,
I
nothing
went,
really was calling out to me.
I went
if
with
they had
Pikmin, but I
Urban
was-
Yeti. I might have.
I went with Pikmin, but I was very upset that I could not. I mean, you have a new Metroid game coming out. Like, why can I not pick a fucking Metroid theme?
Metroid
like,
1.
come
I thought
on.
there was a Metroid theme.
No, there isn't. There's not a Metroid theme.
Oh,
It's stupid.
That
Like,
is
Metroid
stupid.
Prime 4 is coming out. We don't know when. Sometime. But there's no
Sometime.
theme for it.
Nintendo thinks that game already came out like 4 years ago. Because did they release that trailer like 8 years ago or something? They forgot.
They,
yeah, it was definitely 2017.
They released it a long ass time ago. Yeah, it still like boggles my mind that they have not given it a release date at all. It's like, and it's like a, it's coming out for Switch 1 and Switch 2, but we still have no idea. It's not like it's coming out on the release date of Switch 1, or Switch 2. It's like,
I think they'll say something after Donkey Kong Bonanza. They want to roll right into that after the launch, and then
yeah, I was picking out like what we have on the, like what we have on the docket here. So we got Mario Kart World in June, and I think they're still going to do the month by month thing. We got Mario Kart World, we got Donkey Kong Bonanza, and then we have the Kirby DLC in August. So I thought it was going to be August, but no, that's going to be August. So maybe September will be when it is, or maybe I don't fucking know. Like, figure it out, Nintendo, please.
Well, they've got their.
I want to play that game.
Virtual console stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna get a new, some new like game like Tetris 99.
Oh, sure,
it's
yeah.
gonna be like a great.
the Mario 40th anniversary.
Mario 40.
There you go, Mario
Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
It'll be all Mario.
This time 3D.
2.
This time it's 3D. It's only Game Boy games. You just got to play black and white Game Boy games. That's it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bowser's Fury came out as an independent release at some point. Like, they're just gonna be like, here's this as like a $20 download.
I want Bowser's Fury, the full $70 version or whatever. I want the whole 60-hour version or whatever.
Quadruple the map or something.
Yeah. The whatever the sequel to that is. Give me more of that. That game was great.
Bowser's More Furious.
Yeah. Bowser's Super Furious. The whole thing. All of it. Give it to me.
We got a couple
Bowser's
of
spicy meal.
Bowser's spicy meal, nice. We got a couple of Switch 1 game announcements. Nebulous Ray, which was old arcade game. It's coming out on the 15th of May. It's a Namco arcade game. Yep. Space shooter type game. Blast Rush LS coming out sometime this year, which is another 16-bit style shooter. Perfect Tide Station to Station. This one seems kind of up my alley. It's a coming of age point and click narrative adventure. Are you familiar with this game, Jeremy?
I'm not familiar, but it does kind of like strike me as like a walking sim with heart.
Yeah, I like this kind of stuff. So it says you'll travel to the big city with 18-year-old Mara as she leaves her comfortable island hometown to begin her hopefully invigorating college experience. I like these like heartfelt story type games. Coming out sometime this year. And then another one called Sonic Wings Reunion, which this series, I guess that's what it's known as in Japan, but here it's known as Aero Fighters. Which that rung a bell.
Acrobat?
Not Aero the Acrobat. No, not Sonic the Hedgehog.
Aero the Fighter Acrobat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out in Japan next week.
On my birthday.
On your birthday.
My birthday.
Get
Is
it.
it next week?
It's happening.
It's like
My birthday is on
Mondays.
Monday. Is a week from
Wow.
next Monday.
Happy birthday coming up.
Is a week from next Monday. Something that's actually coming out this week that I didn't put on the show notes, but I should have because it made me think of you, John, is a Punk Shot. It's basically it's like a arcade NBA Jam where you play as punks and you get to beat people up. And it actually looks
Never
cool.
heard of this.
I might get it.
Is this a new game or an old game?
It's the weekly arcade archives released from
Punk
Hamster
Shot.
that's coming out this week. Yeah, Punk Shot is a sports game released in 1990. It's a Konami game. Your goal is to defeat the rival team and win in a basketball game. Well, all sorts of interference and attacks are allowed. There are various gimmicks set up during the game, so you need to be careful not to get too distracted by your opponent and lose the ball to them.
Oh yeah,
I just think it looks cool, and I like punk rock stuff, and I
see mohawks.
I like the NBA Jam style arcadey stuff. What was it? Street Hoop, which was a really early release on Switch. Is still a fucking badass game. That game is really good. It came out before NBA Jam too, and it was NBA Jam before NBA Jam. I had a lot of fun with that game, and I used to play. This one of the Street Hoop Beach song whenever we would do those Switch One meetups. It's got a solid soundtrack too. But yeah, I was really interested in this Punk Shot game. These games come out for like they come out for like $7 or something. I mean, maybe I'll get it. I don't know, but I mean, definitely I think my last definite purchase for Switch One will be Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Comes out next Friday. Of course, excited, very excited.
That's a good one to go out on.
Yeah, actually, when I was doing research on the Teras thing, originally Capcom was going to make a fighting game with LucasArts, and actually when they broke away from it, that game became Star Gladiator, and Plasma Sword is Star Gladiator 2, and that's included in the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. So I'm really excited to give that a go because I've never played it before, and a couple of the main characters showed up in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom as playable characters. So I know some of it through that. But yeah, no, I'm very excited to play that game. Plus, one of my favorite fighting games of all time, Capcom vs. SNK 2, is on there. So hey,
you're probably just going to use your regular controller to play this, right?
Yep, of course.
You won't use your leverless.
No, I won't use my favorite controller ever to play fighting games with on there. No, of course I'll play that one. But yeah, no, I really want to play the other one, the high school one as well. The
Rival Schools.
Yeah, the Rival Schools 2, which has a different name on there. But anyway, there's a lot of really cool games on there, and I never got to play Capcom vs. SNK 1, which is supposed to be great too. So I'm excited for it still, and it's coming out the Friday before my birthday. And it's going to be cool. And we'll talk about it next week.
We won't talk about it
next week. We'll talk about it the week after because it won't come out until next time we record. But whatever. But speaking of games that aren't great, they're doing a new Echo the Dolphin game. Anybody care?
Okay.
Yeah. I do. I had interest in those games.
I tried so hard to like them, and I don't. I think they both suck. And I tried. I thought they looked beautiful. I just could not figure out how to play it, and it was just so irritating, and I hated it. Hated Echo the Dolphin.
Wasn't there a Dreamcast one?
There was a Dreamcast one.
Yeah.
So this
I don't think that's been re-released.
I don't think that this
maybe that one's
was
better.
Involved. Well, I remember it got great reviews in GamePro, and I was always
in '99.
Yeah, whenever that came out, or 2000, I don't know.
Doing?
Yeah, so I was always intrigued to play that Dreamcast one, but it's interesting because so this creator of Echo the Dolphin came out and announced he's doing remasters of the two Genesis games and a new Echo game, but he refers to the new Echo game that he's doing as the third game, but it's not the third game because there was the one on Dreamcast. So I think that he wasn't involved in the one on Dreamcast and he doesn't consider it canon.
Or maybe it just wasn't that great. Maybe it's like Toxic Avenger 4, where they were like, Toxic Avenger 2 and 3 didn't happen. Toxic Avenger 4 is the only sequel. You know, they do that a bunch in movies. Where they did like the Halloween movie, like the newest one with Jamie Lee Curtis, where it's like, well, this takes place after Halloween 1, and all those other ones don't exist. You know, or like Terminator Dark Fate, where it's like, this takes place after Terminator 2, all those other ones don't exist. They do this all the time. You know, just put it behind whatever the most popular ones and just pretend that the other ones don't exist. So I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, there's potential for a dolphin game to be good. You know, dolphins are agile creatures, swim fast, and jump high. You know, it can be fun.
They have a tendency to be really creepy to you.
Do they?
It's best to not be in water with them. Oh yeah, they're a lot of SA stuff going on from them, from what I heard. Stay away from them. They're creepy.
I've swam with them before.
They just want to hump you, and it's not nice. They could be very mean, actually.
Actually, one of them I swam with dolphins when I was in Jamaica.
Yeah, one of my nieces got brutally attacked by a dolphin.
One of them finned me straight in the crotch. Like I think it was an accident, but I was like, I'm treading water in there, and then the dolphin just like swims straight up from underneath me, but the fin went straight into my crotch, and which is like the funniest way that I've ever been hit in the nuts for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure those.
Little did you know they were filming it for their Oops Testicles.
They were doing it for their
Dolphin show.
Practical Jokers, whatever dolphin show. Yeah.
How about Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky the First?
Yeah,
got a release date for that.
I think they had actually hinted at it before, and I think I'd seen this release date before. But I'm excited. Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky the First, which is actually the remake of the original, the start to all of the Trails games, which I've been wanting forever to get into these because they're made by the same company who does Ys and like those sort of games, and they look incredible. You know, like was it Trails of Cold Steel and Reverie and like all those other ones. But they actually all go together. You know, it's like Game of Thrones. It's like one, it has to do with another. And I wanted to start from the beginning, and there was no way to play like the original Trails in the Sky games. But they're making a full-on 3D remake of it, and actually looks really cool. And it's coming out on the 19th of September. So cool. That's my most anticipated game. Well, it's basically this one. It's a Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky, the remake. Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong Bonanza are probably my big most anticipated games of the year as of right now.
More so than Mario Kart World?
Well, Mario Kart World is whatever. We're all going to get it, I guess. I don't know. It's too close for me to care anymore, I guess. It's like less than a month away. So, yes, I do anticipate it, and I'm sure I'm going to play the shit out of it. But, you know, whatever. But, yeah, Legend of Heroes has a release date. And they also did a new video of the new Daemon X Machina game, and I just think it looks pretty cool. Like, it looks a lot faster than the other one did, and maybe they'll give you like an 8-hour demo again. That'd be cool. They did it for the first one, like a free one, and let you try it out. I wouldn't
be surprised.
I mean, I like mech games, and none of them like they don't seem to click quite right. But this one, from what I saw of it, the battle mechanics looked really cool, and it's all action battle, and it looks fast as hell. You know, most of the time they're too slow, so I'm intrigued. So I'm willing to put a demo out there. Let me try it.
Jeremy, did you see that they announced the games that are coming in the Bubsy Perfect Collection?
I did. I posted it. But did you see it, Jeremy? Actually, I'm kind of interested in it just because.
I'm interested in it just because.
I played the Super Nintendo one.
Yeah, I've beaten the first one. I actually beat it on the original hardware, so it's got a special place in my heart, and I still think it moves faster than Sonic.
I liked it when I was in high school. It was a game that I rented pretty often.
In a foot race, Bubsy would win.
I don't know about his speed versus Sonic.
He would just die really, really easy.
but I did have I do remember having a good time with the Super Nintendo game of Bubsy, and I thought it was funny later in life that people picked on him so much because I was like, I thought that fun. I thought that game was all right.
There was a time. One of my favorite memes I posted that nobody cared about. I think I might have got one like. It was early on and during the pandemic where people started posting like the hand washing rules and they would like replace the captions. And I went through and I replaced it with all of the things that Bubsy says at the beginning of each level. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah. And like I said, nobody cared, but I thought it was funny. Yeah, Bubsy holds a place in my heart. I mean, my whole family cared about that game because it was something that wasn't Mario. That was a platformer that we could play at the time. So that's what we played. And
another colorful 2D platformer.
There's so much you can find so much interesting stuff about Bubsy 3D, especially like there's this legendary person that just like was obsessed with it, and early on in YouTube gaming history was posting just like dozens and dozens of hours of them playing Bubsy 3D. And I think that I want to at least try it.
I'm curious to try it too. I mean, it's been in a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of, like AVGN style video critiques and all that stuff. So I'm always curious, like a game that tries something that's like still a new thing. Like at that time, 3D platformers, that was a new thing. And I think this came out just shortly after Mario 64. So
I mean, I don't even know Accolade. Like, do they even exist anymore? Like that was
I don't think so.
that was their attempt at having their own Mario. You know, it was Bubsy. So
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they did wrong, what they did right.
You're talking about the PlayStation game, right?
I'm going all the way back
Yep.
to the Super Nintendo.
Because I was gonna say Bubsy existed. I mean, I only played Bubsy on Super Nintendo. That's the only one I
Yeah,
played.
Claws Encounters of the Third Kind.
So here's all the games that are going to be on there. Bubsy and Fractured Furry Tales, which is a Jaguar game. Ooh, another Jaguar game coming out. That's cool.
Do you think that's a reference to the Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Yeah.
Fractured
Certainly,
Fairy
definitely.
Tales.
Fractured Fairy Tales.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Bubsy and Claws Encountered of the Furred Kind, which I think is the first one and the one that we all played.
Do you think that has to do with the Richard Dreyfuss movie? I mean, it must, right? I'm kidding.
I think it might
certainly.
have a reference.
I'm kidding. Yes, of course it has to do with that movie. You have to play the notes to get through it. You have to do the right notes and have the
Bubsy
aliens.
2, we only ever rented. Like, we never owned it, and it's a super expensive game now, if you can find it.
Is it really?
They
Just
have
'cause it's rare. Yeah, but it's like just more of the same as far as I can remember.
But they do have the Game Boy version of it on here, which I think is awesome. The
That is
Bubsy
cool.
2
That's
for
cool.
Game Boy. They have the Game Boy, Sega Genesis, and Super
I do like
Nintendo
they've
version.
got the Sega and Super Nintendo versions. Like this might be a collection worth buying on discount.
Yeah, I've given Bubsy some shit over the years, but like, I'm curious. I can see myself buying this.
The
I
first
do want to
one,
play
the
Bubsy
one
3D.
Claws Encountered is hilarious because it's like I don't know. You die so easy. Like I guess that's it. Like you don't even know you're gonna die, and then you die. And there's like all these unique
It's like
death
real life.
animations that are really cool. And like you can tell they really put like a lot of resources into having these unique death animations for how you would die.
Yep.
But you're gonna die from getting hit by a gumball flying out of a gumball machine, or like you're gonna like get hit by a little
It happens.
a hawker that a woolly's spitting out at you. Like
There's a lot of stuff in that game where you can't see what's just beyond the screen,
Yeah.
and a lot of like unfair
because
deaths
it
like
moves
that.
faster than Sonic.
It's true. Yeah, he's kind of slippery.
I mean,
Like
Sonic had
remember-
that too.
Extremely slippery. It's like you're always running on ice, even when you're not.
Yeah,
And he's got this like exactly like he's got this momentum to him where he's like slow to start, but like really hard to stop, and then also like you'll just feel like you've got your momentum going, and then you'll get hit by a hawker, and you just keep moving. You're like, wait, what's going on? And then all of a sudden you're dead, and you're like, wait, what? I just rolled for like 38 yards, and I'm dead because I got hit by a hawker.
They're always trying to hawk at you.
Hawk Tua started here. No, I'm just
No.
sorry.
So,
so real quick,
I was like speaking of things that get started really quickly but have a hard time stopping. We're close to the end of this episode.
Yeah, let's be done.
I think so. We do
should,
have to.
We should talk about
mention
Nintendo.
There's two big bits of news. Right?
Talk about Nintendo
Nintendo
versus
v
Genki, and then
Genki.
we're
Yep.
done.
Yep.
Let's just be done with that.
So yeah, Nintendo went after Genki for showing mock-up stuff of Switch 2, as they should be.
Which if I were to go back in time, I'd be like, here's proof that Genki revealed that the Switch 2, because here's the lawsuit they're going to have in the future. So, I mean, that doesn't really help, but it is kind of like, I feel kind of sad because surely they didn't do that intentionally. Surely they did that because they wanted to show support for the console. Like, I don't know. Maybe there was something shifty happening there, but like, were they really trying to reveal it before anyone else? Was there really someone at the top of it all that was like, fuck it all, let's just bankrupt ourselves here?
I don't know. I felt myself asking, like, at the time, like, I wondered, how old is their CEO? Is he like a young guy who's like, brought up in internet culture where if you comment first on the video, like, you get to
I don't
start
think
him
it
for the day? I
matters
feel like
because they're forward facing enough that they're developing stuff for something that's not out yet. So
yeah.
I don't think that there's some benevolent old man that is the reason why this happened. I think this is a case of them being like, well, we want to sell this. We're excited about it. And there must have been, I don't know. There's got to be some sort of documentation Nintendo has where they specifically violated something, because to me, it just seems like a good-natured thing to be like, hey, this new console's coming out. You should be excited because we're already supporting it. Like, isn't that a good thing?
I suppose, but when you're showing off the design of the
Nintendo being
console.
Nintendo, they want to unveil the things on their own time and not have somebody else push them to it.
But I mean, that's probably the end of Ginky. Like,
yeah, even though like so many people did that, like not even just them, but all the fucking rumors about the Switch Pro and even on the outline you had here, like Nintendo saying that they had been working on the Switch 2 since 2019, and was not like we started getting rumors on Switch Pro like in 2020 even, right? Like
which
just
supposedly I watched
years
the video
into
where they broke down the chip, and there was documentation on the chip that made it seem like it was commissioned in like 2022 or 2023 or something like that. Yeah, we don't have to get into that, but yeah, there was like a bricked console that someone got a hold of, and John, I think you shared the link, like a bricked console, and it's like a Chinese YouTuber that's like describing it, and you kind of
who's breaking it down. Yeah,
breaking it down,
literally breaking it down, like slicing the chips in half to like see how many micrometers they were across and stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty detailed breakdown.
So from them and then from another source, they both kind of agree.
Are they going to get sued? Like, hope not.
I don't know. I hope not. They both kind of seem to think that the Switch 2 is comparable to like a Steam Deck. So
that makes sense. That. It should be by now because the Steam Deck's been out for what, like 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Yeah. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be better than whatever the first version of the Steam Deck was.
Yeah.
Is what I've heard.
And a lot of that's to do with like on board stuff, built-in chips that are like processing things that used to be all dedicated to one processor or whatever.
Yep.
Apparently, the SD Express is going to help too.
Yeah,
its own way of quicker loading, I guess, is what I heard.
Yeah, that's a shady thing too. Cause
maybe we'll see.
It just seemed hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, it is I did look at, because I ordered a couple things. I ordered a couple Switch 2 things, but yeah, those weren't available.
I mean, I'd be pretty disappointed if they were like, this is like a sub-tier Steam Deck, but at the same time, it's like, given like how it has to like, be its own freeware-based operating system with Linux, and then on top of that, like you have to do all these different setting stuff to get like certain games to work. It's like, even if the Switch 2 is less powerful, I would just be happy if it just worked out of the box, So me as probably not even just a standard consumer, I mean, I understand a little bit about all that other shit. Like, I don't know. To hear that it's like at least as powerful as the first Steam Deck is nice, but also it's like, duh, like it better be.
Yeah.
Because it's $450 and I don't think people are going to be leaving the Nintendo ecosystem to buy Steam Decks, but maybe they already did. Maybe they've already left.
Well, I'm coming for the Nintendo software, so regardless.
Exactly.
Yep.
Unless you really have like a stake in emulating stuff, which people do, but I don't know. I would rather just play things as they were intended and without the worry of game-breaking bugs or whatever in the emulation process.
The one more bit of news that we need to comment on, and then we can be done.
Yeah, we definitely
big news.
We definitely got to talk about Nintendo. They're still supporting DAI. I mean, that's really important because everybody's very DAI in America, and then that's it, right? We can be done.
Yeah, we can be done because honestly, like if you get a job at Nintendo, you're kind of there for life. So it'd be nice to get people in still with those same policies.
I mean, if you want to talk about the game that's never coming to a Nintendo system, you can.
You got to mention it. It's the big news.
You can, and I'm going to go pee, but please, like, make it like a 5-minute limit or something like that. Like,
yeah,
we're already
so
like at 2 hours and 20 minutes.
GTA 6 delayed until next year, but also the trailer came out. Jeremy, you saw the trailer?
I saw the trailer, and the thing I was stricken by more than anything was just the natural movements of NPCs. Like,
yeah,
there's this scene in the second trailer where he's literally talking to someone that's like behind a window, and just the way the guy moves, it looks so natural. It looks like I'm watching a movie. Like, I don't know, something about like the character models and how they are, and especially the asses on the sexy female protagonists. Like they're just like
Very, very realistic.
they've got ass physics that are
Perfect ass fit. That's where
out
all
the woozah. Yeah,
that's where the game only took about 2 years to develop. The last 13 years were focused on the ass physics alone. Yes.
they really focus a lot, especially that second trailer, and making out with the lady you get out of prison and watching her walk with her, like the camera zoomed in on her ass. I don't know. They really are leaning into that. So I don't know if if Rockstar's resting all their laurels in the ass physics department, but I don't know. Honestly, though, all jokes aside, it looks good. I don't know how much of that is natively running in engine. Supposedly it was the base PS5 model
That's what they said on the trailer. Yeah.
was based off of.
I think that
But-
the expectation from number 5, because number 5 was, there weren't any like special cutscenes or anything like that. It was all in engine, right? It was all.
Yeah.
So I think the expectation is there, and I think they know that, and they would be, foolish to do otherwise in this trailer.
I just don't know if I'll ever get to hang out with someone who voiced, because like I got to hang out with
Pete and Pete.
Yeah, the Pete guy. So I've actually hung out with somebody that was in GTA 5, and I don't know any of these people that are in 6, and if I'll ever get to meet them. So that's why I'm not buying it.
Oh, you're not buying it? You're
No,
not
I'm
saying-
definitely gonna buy it.
Yeah, me
day
too.
one. I bought 13 day one, or whatever the fuck it's called. I bought it day one.
You guys done?
Yeah, I'll definitely be getting it. But I think everybody should go watch this one video that was out by a guy who was a former Rockstar developer. You can watch the trailer and appreciate how good it looks and all that. But I think if you want to take it to the next level, like go watch this video by a guy named.
Is he the same guy that said Mario Kart wasn't worth the price?
No, it's a guy called York Street Gaming from Rockstar, and he just kind of points out bit by bit what makes this trailer look so good. And it was just like little things like, there's a moment when Jason is talking to the prison guard, and the prison guard leans in, and when the prison guard leans in, he puts his hand on the table, which he moves the keyboard out of the way so that his
that's what I
hand
was
can
talking
rest
about,
comfortably on the table, right? And
then use
lesser
that to brace
games-
himself to stand up.
correct, yes. So like a lesser game would have had that keyboard just fixed, glued to the table, and but they do like these little movements all throughout, and you can go rewatch the trailer again.
No, what
and
I
again.
saw today, the most
They
ridiculous thing
never
I
moved
saw,
keyboards
there's a
until
scene where
2025. It's the first time they ever moved a keyboard.
no,
in a
no,
video game.
there's a scene where you're leaving a liquor store with a 6-pack of beer.
Yep.
And there was literally a video I watched today where they were slow motioning the fluid physics of the beer sloshing
beer.
around in the bottle. And it was
Yeah.
so realistic. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I need this in my video games, I guess.
Right, and then the lady
Real-time
walks past
beer
him.
movement.
The lady bumps the beer slightly, and this is all like running real time in the game. Again, I'm betting on that. So there's just like these little tiny things that all add up to this game looking absolutely freaking amazing. So, yep, May 26th, I will be getting a PS5 Pro.
2026, by the way.
Yep, 2026. Yeah, not like 2 weeks from now. No,
Which surprised no one.
Yep.
No one
Nope.
was surprised. I mean, when you only show like one fucking trailer and that's it, it's obviously not coming out this year. But it's cool. It's another trailer I can avoid watching.
I mean, you'll be unavailable, or rather, you'll be unable to avoid it next year. So you're going to see this.
I'll get real tired
We'll be
of all the
talking about it.
podcasts I listen. It's going to be like Elden
be
Ring
playing
all
it.
over again.
It will be.
Where it'll be like 5 episodes of non-Nintendo stuff, and I'll be like, but hey, the new Kirby game's good, I swear. Anyway, this has been long enough, so let's please end it. Anyway, yeah, that's been our episode. That's episode 470. Thanks everybody for listening. And if you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast, where you can hear bonus episodes. I just put up the edited version of the latest expansion pack number 72, where we talk about what GameCube games we would like to see on the Nintendo Switch Online. And I thought it came out really well. There's all sorts of fun stuff in there, and it's fun to listen to. And there'll be like a free version of it if you want to listen to like the beginning of it. I'll be putting that up right after this. But yeah, check that out. And go to youtube.com/NintenDomain podcast, and you can leave some some epic comments about the Animal Crossing KK Slider songs or whatever.
Just
on
spin
there.
out there.
and about existence and whatnot. And put that on there, and you can find us on Blue Sky at NintenDomain and at Trey Johnson and at NintenDomain Podcast on the better of the social medias. You can find us there. And, just Google us. You can find us around and all that. But, yeah, we've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
Jeremy Mikowski.
John Ender.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. See you next time.
See ya. All right, bye.
Oh, shit.
Whoa! I thought that was like a filter or something.
Yeah, that's fucking scary.
What was that?
That was a giant-ass spider is what that was.
Oh.
Well,
Didn't have to kill it.
Well, what else am I going to do with it?
Let it take care of the small bugs in your house.
Yeah, sorry. Spiders freak me out. Especially fucking giant ones.
It looked like it was glowing, like a little.
Uh-huh.
It was glowing because it came down right in front of the light and right.
The patrons will see it in the video, but it looked like the way the light was shining on it. It looked like a graphic. It didn't look like a spider.
It was scary. Yeah. It's fucking the spirit of Revolver Ocelot coming to.
He's
kill
like,
me.
hold on, I want to talk about Metal Gear Solid 2. It had real time beard growth.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was just like wanting to offer its thoughts on Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yes, it was. It appeared right in front of me, in front of the camera.
Yeah,
it was
like, and here's what I've been playing this week. Oh,
yeah. Let me tell you.
I want to know about spider consoles. We missed our chance.
Let me tell you about your. Let me tell you about Revolver Ocelot and what you left out on that character.